Tomorrow, mostly sunny with moderating temperatures during the afternoon, highs of 54 to 59 degrees. 50% humidity, the temperature at the WCBS Weather Center is 49 degrees. It's 8:15. Let's play ball.
From Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California, CBS Radio Sports presents the 1978 World Series on the CBS Radio Network and around the world through the American Forces Radio. Hi, everybody. I'm Jerry Coleman, along with Win Elliott and Bill White, getting set for the sixth game of this series between the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. This broadcast is sponsored by Kinney, the great American shoe store. By Quality Inns, the most comfortable place to be under the sun. By Mellow Roast Coffee and Grain Beverage, great coffee taste without bitterness. By Menley and James Contact, 12-hour cold capsule. And by Sign-Off, the sinus medicines. And by STP Products.
The sixth game of the 1978 World Series between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Yankees is sponsored in part by Getty Oil and by General Tire.
Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California. Another beautiful evening, a packed house as the Dodgers and the Yankees go in Game 6. The Yankees leading 3-2. And tonight, Don Sutton will try to keep the hopes of the Dodgers alive. Sutton, 15-11 during the year, will be facing Jim Catfish Hunter, who is 12-6 this season. Both pitchers have started a game. Both have lost a game. So Jim Hunter is 0-1 in the series. Don Sutton also 0-1. The advantage, well, which way will it go? So far, the home team has walked away with all the marbles. The Dodgers won the first two here in New York. The Yankees won 3 in a row, so the Dodgers down to their final gasp. We'll be back with more on the pregame show right after this message.
At Kinney, we couldn't improve on our boots, so we improved on our price. Now through October 23rd, up to $5 off on boots to go at the Great American Shoe Store.
I'd like a pair of the 14-inch snoot boots to take out, please.
Certainly, sir. Now, would you like that with a little zip on the side?
A zip, yeah.
A big selection of boots to go at Kinney, all current and up to $5 off. Boots for every member of the family.
Tell you what.
What?
Give me one snoot, the padded lining,
Okay.
and one horse boot. And hold the stitching on that, could you?
You've got it, partner.
We couldn't improve our boots, so we improved our price, up to $5 off. But remember, now through October 23rd only.
I'd like one tan heel with strap and one brick wedge, please.
Yes.
And maybe for my young daughter, the whip
Stitch boot special.
Well, how did you know?
Well,
Boots to go at Kinney. Fast and friendly service. Step up to Kinney and place your order now. And really step out in boots to go. From Kinney, the Great American Shoe Store.
At Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, Game 6 of the 1978 World Series, Don Sutton going up against Jim Catfish Hunter. And the home advantage, it's possible that the Los Angeles Dodgers, getting some of that home cooking, can bounce back. They have been just about buried in New York where they dropped 3 in a row. One of the problems, you got to go to Bill Russell to talk about it. The infield, they said, was a disaster out there as far as Los Angeles was concerned. Also, how about the home team advantage? Does that mean anything? Talking to Bill Russell, we covered both subjects, and he answered us this way.
Well, I guess you could say that. I really don't think it does. It's just the Yankees went in there and they just beat us. We went in on cloud 9, so to speak, and we come back underneath the cloud. But we knew it wasn't going to be easy to play the Yankees, and we had, we beat them here and they beat us there. It's just one of those things that happens. The only thing we got going for us now is we're back here at our home park.
Bill, a championship ball club like the Dodgers has been there before, and yet we find coming back to Los Angeles, the Dodgers, especially their infield, is having to defend themselves as being not much at all. How about some comments about that?
Well, it's true that we didn't play very well, but we got criticized so much, I don't know where to start. It's just our mistakes didn't by no means lose the games for us. They were just, near New York, it's the publicity capital of the world, I guess you would say, and everything, all the writers are there. It's the big, the World Series, and it's a big thing, and so they wanted to blame something, and of course, you know, if they want to give me the blame, I'll take it. But if anybody knows anything about baseball, and you think that the writers would, as many games that they cover, they by no means should feel and write the things that they wrote and saying that the infielders lost the games for the pitchers.
Bill, a question. Do the writers that cover the game, do the newspapermen, the media, including myself, do most of them understand what's going on the field?
Well, after the game, you know, you would think that they would. Like I said, as many games they cover, but after the game they come up in an interview and they ask you some of the stupidest questions. You can't understand how a guy, even the official score, how they come up with some of the questions that they come up with. I mean, it makes you laugh at them. You look at them and you say, you just don't know how to answer the question, and you don't want to laugh in their face, but I mean, I said some things, but they made me say it. They kept at it, and they kept at me, and you know, they kept blaming me for things. And you would think that if they knew anything about baseball, I'm not the only one to blame, but they were blaming me, so I had to go back at them, defend myself.
Bill Russell, the Dodgers shortstop, considered by many around here to be one of the finest ball players in the entire National League, feeling that he had to defend himself after having what many felt was an off day in New York. They said the Dodger infield couldn't hack it. Well, we'll have to wait and see as the game gets underway here tonight with Jim Hunter going after Don Sutton. This is Game 6. It could be the final game of the series if the Yankees win it. We'll continue in just a moment.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later, you'll own Generals.
Don't buy tires until you visit your General Tire headquarters. You'll find a tire that's right for you and a price that's set for today's budget. Choose from steel-belted radial, glass-belted polyester cord, and economical 4-ply nylon cord tire. Or go with the sporty look of wide leather whites. They all incorporate General's 62 years of tire building know-how. Quality, choice, price. General has the tire for you. Check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later, you'll own Generals. Sooner or later, you'll own Generals.
Game 6 here at Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California, between the Yankees and the Dodgers about to get underway, and not too many changes in the lineup as far as the Yankees are concerned. One missing element will be Chris Chambliss at first base, an injured ball player being replaced by Jim Spencer. Brian Doyle will be at second base, as he has been in several of the ball games, and the designated hitter, once again, Reggie Jackson. The Dodgers, though, have made 2 dramatic changes. They'll have a new catcher for the first time, Joe Ferguson, replacing Steve Yeager, and Vic Davalillo, 39 years old, will be the designated hitter. He replaces Lee Lacy. Talking to Joe Ferguson, who has had a bad arm. He took shots for that arm. They were running on him madly about a month ago, and we talked to Joe about the pitching setup. It's Jim Hunter for the Yankees, Don Sutton for the Dodgers tonight. If it goes to Game 7, Tommy John and Ron Guidry will battle. We asked Ferguson if he was happy with the pitching setup.
Well, we're strong. We're very strong, as a matter of fact. Our pitching is in good shape, and we're prepared to throw everybody we can at them tonight. I mean, this is a must-win for us. But as far as whether I'm happy how our pitching's done, I'm not really too happy with it. I think that guys have walked out there with pretty good stuff and haven't got the most out of their stuff. So they know what the scouting reports are and haven't been able to really pitch them effectively.
What you're really saying is they're getting reports, but they're not reacting.
Yeah, they're not making the pitches in the areas that they'd like to make them when they get the chance to do it. You know, you can't throw to a guy's weakness every pitch and expect to get it there. I mean, you just can't do that. But when they have chances, when they're ahead of hitters, guys are getting 2-strike hits, and that shouldn't happen to a good pitching staff, especially ours.
Joe, how about yourself? A start tonight. Is this like the first game of the World Series to you? We're in the 6th, but for you, for Joe Ferguson, is this the first?
This feels like the first game of the season for me. I haven't played for 2 weeks, but I'm happy to play. Tommy asked me before the game, he says, how does your arm feel? And I says, it feels better. He says, all right. He says, you helped us to get here. He says, you're catching this game. And I says, well, Tommy, you know, I'll do my best.
They'll test you, you know that.
Well, I hope they do. My arm feels pretty good. I don't mind them testing me now. 2 weeks ago, I'd have hated to be tested, but right now I feel okay.
And Joe Ferguson, who gets the nod as the catcher tonight, was run on handily a couple of weeks ago when his arm was bad. A shot apparently has cured that. So Joe Ferguson gets the starting nod behind the plate this evening. Say hey, coffee lovers. Now Mellow Roast will see you through the series with the kind of full-flavored, costly taste that you love. Mellow Roast blends 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees with roasted grain so that the full coffee flavor comes through smooth and delicious, but without the bitterness. So make a real hit with your home team. Stock up on plenty of good Mellow Roast today and get great coffee taste without bitterness, cup after delicious cup. Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage, available in ground and instant.
Take your contact, take it now. Give your cold to contact.
Can your cold medicine fight the congestion, shrink the swollen membranes, help relieve the runny, sneezy, cloggy misery caused by every known cold virus? Are you sure? Contact can. Today's Contact does all that up to 12 hours, all day, all night, no matter what cold virus attacks. That's the wonder of Contact.
Give your cold to contact.
Take only as directed.
Dodger Stadium, Game 6, and it could be the final game if the Yankees and Jim Catfish Hunter come out on top. Don Sutton, the old pro who has won over 200 games, will try to stop that for the Dodgers. And if there is a Game 7, the pitcher that has startled the baseball world throughout the entire year, Ron Guidry, 25-3 during the regular season. He was off his feed. Nevertheless, he beat the Dodgers, so he is 1-0 in the series. You get a hold of this little guy who weighs only 150 pounds, and I asked him that if you had to go tomorrow, how much in that arm is left?
I just don't know. I know I pitch a lot of innings. I know it's taking its toll on my arm, but one thing that I've gained over the course of 2 years is experience and confidence. I understand that whenever I go out there that I might not have my best stuff, but I still feel confident that I can win without it because I'm a pitcher and I'm not a thrower, and a lot of great pitchers have given me that advice.
I'm wondering if this goes 7 games tomorrow, whether you're going to go as long and as hard, or you get into a pacing situation. What would be your approach?
Well, I'd have to warm up in the bullpen. I'd have to see what I had there, how well I was throwing, and you know, like I said, it's easy for me to make adjustments because I know what pitching is all about now. And if I'm strong, well, I might not pace myself. If I'm not as strong, I might do things that I wouldn't normally do.
A gut feeling. Do you think you'll pitch tomorrow?
If I have to, I will, but I hope I don't have to.
So Ron Guidry, the 28-year-old left-hander who startled the baseball world, just a little guy with a spectacular 25-3 record, 1-0 so far in the World Series, ready to go tomorrow if needed. He would face another fine left-hander, Tommy John of the Los Angeles Dodgers. But tonight, the real pressure rests on the right arm of Don Sutton, who did not have one of those great years. Don, 15-11 at 78, 0-1 in the series, goes up against Jim Catfish Hunter, who came on like gangbusters, except for those final 2 or 3 games during the season where he slacked off a little. So Don Sutton could save it for the Dodgers. Jim Catfish Hunter can win it for the Yankees tonight. We'll return in 1 minute on the CBS Radio Network. I'm Jerry Coleman, CBS Radio Sports.
In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it, but as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
WCBS, New York.
From Dodger Stadium, CBS Radio Sports is pleased to present game number 6 of the World Series. The New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm Elliot. Bill White is here, and we're going to bring it all to you play-by-play as the umpires make their presence known, and they are greeted as you had just heard. Now we shall all rise while Sue Rainey helps us honor America in the singing of our national anthem after this pause.
And now, to honor America, our national anthem will be sung today by Sue Rainey.
In tribute to Jim Gilliam, now Sue Rainey with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We'll be right back after this word.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, once again, we're talking with another successful businessman. Sir, tell us about your business.
I am the undisputed king of do-it-yourself kits.
Do-it-yourself kits?
That's right. Do-it-yourself bridge building, do-it-yourself buffalo breeding.
Most interesting. Well, you're obviously very successful. To what do you attribute that success?
My Quantel Business Computer.
Your Quantel Business Computer?
Must be an echo in here.
Yes. What does a Quantel Business Computer have to do with your success?
I can do it myself.
Do what yourself?
I can program it myself. For example, if I need a report on the costs of sales for my do-it-yourself brain surgery kit, I just punch a few buttons, fill in a few blanks, and voila.
Voila?
It's French for Eureka, which is Greek for saxophone.
I see. Well, tell me, how are your brain surgery kits going?
Well, so far, nobody's come back to complain.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
Dodger Stadium, Game 6 of the 78 World Series. We're almost ready to go. Duke Snider's going to throw out the first ball. Let's give you the lineups. There's been some definitive changes in the lineup of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Lopes is going to stay at second, Russell at short, Smith at right, Garvey at first, Say at third base, Baker in left field, and Mundy will play center field. But there'll be a change in the catching position. Joe Ferguson, presumed to be a better hitter, somewhat less on the defensive than Steve Yeager. He's been to bat once in the series. He's going to catch. The designated hitter is the surprise. 39 years old, born in Venezuela, rescued from the Mexican League a couple of years ago, Vic Davalillo, who this year has been at bat 77 times, has 24 hits for an average of 312, an experienced batsmith who hits to left but can pull to right. He's presumed to be a better bet by Tom Lasorda than either Bill North or Lee Lacy, who have been the designated hitter so far this series. For the Yankees, one change. Rivers, White, Munson, Jackson, Piniella, Nettles, and in first base, or on first base, as was true in the last game, because Chris Chambliss' wrist evidently is not well, it'll be Jim Spencer again. And because Don Sutton will be on the mound for the Los Angeles Dodgers, the left-handed hitting Brian Doyle will cover second base, Bucky Dent at short, and the most experienced of all the World Series pitchers still going, Jim Hunter, is going to be on the mound for the Yanks. Jim is 0-1 in this series, 4-3 in his career, 12-6 during the year, as opposed to Don Sutton, who leads the Dodger pitchers in 8 categories, that is, career-wise. 0-0 in this series, 2-1 lifetime, 15-11 on the year. What can we expect from these two guys? Well, the pitcher will be out there first is Don Sutton. He lost game 3, 5-1. The way he lost it in the first inning, he gave a single to Mickey Rivers. In fact, Mickey Rivers hit Sutton 3 out of the 4 times. Rivers was snuffed out trying to steal, as you may recall, and then Roy White hit a home run. In the second inning, Nettles got a single, a couple of fielders' choices, and he came in to give the Yanks a 2-0 lead. After that, we waited until the 7th inning when Dent singled, Rivers singled, White the fielder's choice, and Munson a single, and that got rid of Don Sutton in his game. As for Hunter, he pitched to 10 men in the first 3 innings. Steve Yeager got the single in the 4th inning. 3 singles, finally by Ron Say, got in a run. In the 6th inning, they did him in. Lopes single, Russell popped out. Smith single, Garvey popped out, and Ron Say hit that 3-run home run in the left center field. That's what these two pitchers have done so far in this series this year. So, for the Dodgers, of course, it's that favorite phrase. They absolutely have to win, a must game. The Yankees can still play today, lose, and depend on Guidry tomorrow. Sutton is the man who holds the most of Dodger pitcher records, and so he's going to be called on today, and he's got to go at least 6 or 7 innings. The Dodger relief corps has not been the brightest or the strongest. The Yankees, on the other hand, if they get at least 6 strong innings out of Hunter, or have a 1-run lead or deficit, can then call upon Rich Gossage, and so far, the flamethrower, formerly from Chicago and Pittsburgh, has done everything anybody might expect him to do. Now, all this is coming to you by authority of the Major League Baseball, is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Major League Baseball is prohibited. Should the Yankees win tonight, and it is 5:37 and the sun is still out here in Dodger Stadium, they would be the first team in World Series history to lose the first 2 and then come back and sweep 4 in a row. Should the Dodgers prevail in 7, and they could do it in no less, they would be the first team to ever win it, with each team winning their games all on home field. About 1,000 balloons were released just before the start of the game, and some of them are coming to rest. One of them right in back of center field, Bill Haller, the American League umpire, has picked it out of the air. And Bill White, you're now up, and the umpires and the rest of the action.
All right, Elliot, game 6. Yankees lead the series 3-2, and Mickey Rivers steps in. And the first pitch of the ball game, swung on and fouled straight down. He missed it, swung on and missed. Rivers going after the first pitch from Donnie Sutton and missed it. No balls and 1 strike. For the Yankees here in the first inning, Mickey Rivers, Roy White, and Thurman Munson. Way in at third base is Ron Say. Pop foul, that'll be back out of play off the left side and over the Dodger dugout on the third base side. So it's no balls and 2 strikes. Rivers so far in the series has been up 14 times. He has 6 base hits. He's working and playing with a bad leg. No home runs and a run batted in. Here's a 2-strike pitch. Moves him back with a high slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Say now backs up. He plays even with the bag at third base and slightly off the bag toward the shortstop position. Now Sutton looking in at Ferguson for sign. The right-hander rocks and deals a 1-2 pitch to Rivers. Swung on, bounced, high bounce for second base. Lopes gets a bad hop, quick throw to first, in the dirt, but scooped up by Steve Garvey. Garvey, I understand when Elliott has saved the Dodger infielders a lot of errors this year. He just made a fine play.
He certainly saved an error that time. That ball, with plenty of time, Rivers threw it into the dirt, but backhanded by Say, who picked it up.
Davey Lopes getting the bat up and hurrying on Mickey Rivers. Here's Roy White with 1 out, nobody on, just underway from Dodger Stadium. Game 6 of the 1978 World Series. Fastball, line left center, it'll be a base hit. Over quickly, Dusty Baker, he cuts it off on 1 hop, and he'll get it back in. And Roy White will hold at first base with the game's first base hit. That's White's 8th base hit in the series. He's been up 21 times. A home run, 4 runs batted in. Here's Munson. Munson 7 for 20 in the series, batting .350. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. Thurm, a right-handed batter. Dodgers now set their infield looking for 2. Say's the third baseman. Russell, the shortstop. Davey Lopes cheating just a bit towards second, and Garvey holds White at first base. Outfield playing Munson straight away. That's Baker in left, Mundy in center, and Reggie Smith with a great arm out in right field. Smith playing shallow there. Now Sutton's at the belt. Checks White at first base. Pitch to Munson. Called strike. Through 3 series, Munson 24 for 62, a 387 mark. Now Sutton sets. The 1-strike pitch, runner going, bounce towards shortstop. Russell backs up, he's got it. Long throw to first base in time. They've got Munson on the hit and run. White moving towards second base. Russell started towards second. A slow bouncer into the shortstop position. He was able to get back and get Munson at first base with White moving into second base. 2 outs.
And that's the greeting for Reggie Jackson, who came up to the plate. As he walked to the plate, not a characteristic stride for Reggie. He sort of pecked his way up there with his shoulders as though this was an extra special moment for him. I don't know that there's any significance in it at all, but he knew he would get that kind of a greeting, and he is evidently ready.
Yeah, he's having an excellent series, batting .444, 8 base hits and 18 times up. 1 home run and 6 runs batted in. Pitch to Jackson. Outside, ball 1. Sutton turned over a fastball. Roy White down at second base, 2 outs. Just underway here at Dodger Stadium, top of the first. Sutton taking a long look at Ferguson. Now he has a sign. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Reggie Jackson. Takes it high, 2 balls, no strikes. With first base open, the Dodgers might pitch around Reggie Jackson instead of giving him the intentional pass. The on-deck batter, a right-handed Lou Piniella. Russell, the shortstop, playing almost behind second. He keeps White from taking too big a lead there. 2-0 pitch to Jackson. Swung on, fouled off. That'll be out of play off the left side. 2-1 on Jackson.
I don't know if you pitch around Reggie Jackson, Bill. You've got to face Lou Piniella, who gave the key hit in the 4-3 10-inning game in New York, and probably the best contact man on the club.
It's a question, you want to give up 1 or 2?
Well,
possibility.
That's why they're the world's champs, I guess.
The count now, 2 balls, 1 strike on Jackson. White does not take too big a lead there at second base. Now he's checked by Sutton. And the pitch to Jackson. He goes after bad pitch, low and away, went too far, it's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. White down at second base. Reggie Jackson a little over-anxious. Now Dick Hauser, the third base coach, wants the home plate umpire, Joe Brinkman, to take a look at the baseball. And Brinkman checks it out and gives Sutton a new ball. The umpires tonight, Joe Brinkman of the American League is behind the plate, Ed Vargo of the National League at first base, Bill Haller of the American League at second, and John Kibler of the National League at third. Marty Springstead of the American League in left field, and Frank Pulley of the National League, he's down the right field foul line. So the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson. White's off second with 2 outs. Sutton's pitch. Curveball, check swing, bounces to short. Right there is Russell. Flips over to Garvey. They've got Jackson by a stride, and the side is retired. No runs, a base hit for the Yankees. A man left on base. At the end of 1/2 inning of play, the Yankees nothing, the Dodgers are coming up.
We're talking with the world's most satisfied person.
Boy, am I satisfied. I'm satisfied with my mother-in-law, my gas mileage, my tree, my paper boy.
Wait a minute. There's got to be something in your life you're not satisfied with.
Well, there is one thing.
Oh, what's that?
It's my office copier.
Oh, what's wrong with your office copier?
Well, I paid a lot of money for it, and it just doesn't have all the features I want.
Like what?
Well, it only copies on one side of the paper.
Well, the AB Dick 990 copies on both sides. What else?
Well, my copier only makes copies this big.
Well, the AB Dick 990 copies large documents up to 11 by 17 inches. This big.
Gee.
And here's the most satisfying thing about it. It's priced about $2,000 less than most copiers with comparable features.
Huzzah! I'm going to buy an AB Dick 990 copier.
Good for you. And now you've reached the pinnacle of your satisfaction.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm really not that thrilled with my paperboy.
Yes, the AB Dick 990. A lot of copier, a lot of satisfaction.
The Yankees got a hit, no runs, one man left on base in their opening half of the game here. The Dodgers coming to bat. And it's Catfish Hunter out there on the mound for New York. Hunter with an overall series record of 4-3. He lost the second game here in Los Angeles. Bert Hooton was his opponent at that time. He pitched 6 good innings, but then the Dodgers got a couple on, and Ron Say hit a 3-run home run to cap off a 4 RBI night for the Dodger third baseman, and that was the winning of the second game, the last game that the Dodgers have won in this series. A sidelight, when the Dodgers, who lost 3 straight in New York, were introduced to their hometown crowd for the first time, they got a 50-second standing ovation. When they, before the game, as a unit, all 8 men without the pitcher, cavorted around the outfield as a matter of limbering up or showing solidarity, they again got an ovation. However, notice as each Dodger was introduced to the crowd, all his teammates applauded and each of them shook hands. When the Yankees were introduced, none of the teammates applauded, none of them shook hands. And so there you have it. I'll have a little more to say about that aspect of the Yankee personality. One might be that they have so dominated baseball throughout this past quarter century that they're used to being hated, despised, booed, and kicked at wherever they go. So it's the Yankees, I guess, with a skin thicker than most, now out on the field, and the Dodgers at bat, Bill.
All right, winning Davy Lopes, the right-handed hitting second baseman, leads off against Catfish Hunter and takes down low ball 1. Lopes so far in the series has 6 base hits and 22 at-bats. He's batting at .273. A couple of home runs and 5 runs batted in the opener, and Hunter misses outside again. 2 balls, no strikes on Lopes. It'll be Lopes, Russell, and Reggie Smith against the Cat here in the bottom of the first. The next pitch hit deep to left. White is going back. That ball is gone. Davy Lopes has jumped in his 3rd home run of the series. And the Dodgers lead 1-0. Listen to that crowd.
The opening game.
Yep, listen to that crowd. They're on their feet.
Just got into the left field stands, 365 feet. And if the Dodgers spirit needs some effervescing, that, my friend, should have done it. Let's see.
Here's Bill Russell, the shortstop, and he takes low ball 1. So Lopes hits a 2-0 fastball and drills it over the fence between the 360 and the 370 mark. 1-0 Dodgers. Russell hits one in the air, shallow right. Pinella coming on. He'll not get to it. Base hit. Lou plays it on the first stop, tries to throw behind Russell, but not in time. So Bill Russell has just picked up his 11th series hit in 24 at-bats. He's at first base, nobody out, and the batter's Reggie Smith, the right fielder. And already we have action. Movement in the Yankee bullpen located out in right field here at Dodger Stadium. Reggie Smith, a switch hitter, in left-handed against Hunter with Russell off first. Hunter sets and deals. Swung on and fouled back. No balls and a strike on Reggie Smith.
Catfish has had this kind of problem in the middle of the year. As you know, he's had the arm trouble. In the middle of the year, he had enjoyed a resurrection, though. Bill, here's the pitch.
Here's a 1-strike pitch to Smith. Popped up and behind the plate. Munson coming back. Will he run out of room? Yes, the ball is out of play. That's 2 strikes on Reggie Smith. The guy warming in the Yankee bullpen, right-hander Dick Tidrow, up and throwing.
You know, I didn't notice before. There's no screen that comes back and covers the people sitting under the home plate. So if it comes up in a pop-up like that, it's fair game. On your head or catch it.
No balls, 2 strikes on Reggie Smith. 1 home run, 5 runs batted in the series so far. Swung on and caught by Munson. Smith foul tipped a high fastball. Munson got it into the glove. It popped up, and Thurman caught it before it hit the ground, so it's a strikeout. 1 away.
Bill, Hunter has had this kind of problem of being just a little off in his control, and he has been hit for home runs more often this year than in any other year in his career.
Well, here's Steve Garvey. He's 5 for 20 in the series so far, but the that nobody would think about is Garvey has yet to drive in a run this series. Pitch to the right-handed hitter is too high, ball 1. Garvey normally has great all-around series.
Yes, and as you reported, he has no RBIs in this series. And just following up on Hunter, he gave up 16 home runs, better than 1 a game so far this year.
Next pitch to Garvey's fouled back off the right side. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on Steve Garvey. Bill Russell at first base, 1 away. The Dodgers lead 1-0, playing the bottom half of the first inning. Russell being held there by Yankee first baseman Jim Spencer. As Hunter gets a sign from Munson. He's at the belt. Runner going. The pitch is low. Quick throw to second base. They've got him. Brian Doyle putting the tag on a sliding Bill Russell. So the Dodgers now have tried to steal 8 times. They've been successful 4 times. So they're 2 outs. Put out. 2-4. Munson to Brian Doyle at second base. And the count on Garvey now. 2 balls and 1 strike. Garvey had a great National League Championship Series. 4 home runs, 7 runs batted in against the Phillies. Breaking ball is fouled back. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes on Garvey.
Bill, I noticed that Munson still must be hurting. That was a sidearm throw he got away to get Russell.
You know, when right-handed batters up there when he throws sidearm, but left-handed, of course, make him come more overhand because he can't get that arm out there. He would hit him. Here's a 2-2 to Garvey. Swung on, chopped foul outside third base. The fast third base coach, Preston Gomez. Well, the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Steve Garvey. 2 outs, nobody on. The Dodgers up 1-0 on a Davy Lopes leadoff home run here in the bottom half of the first inning. Hunter gets a new baseball. He rocks and deals a 2-2 pitch. Fouled back by Garvey. The count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nettles is a Yankee third baseman. Bucky Dent, the shortstop. Brian Doyle playing at second base, and Jim Spencer at first. Here's Hunter's 2-2 delivery to Garvey. Swung on, waved at and missed. Garvey goes down swinging on an off-speed curveball, and the side is retired. 1 run, 2 base hits, nobody left on base, and at the end of 1, the Dodgers lead the Yankees 1-0.
Don Knotts for Mailgram.
When I'm away from the office, I don't always have a secretary with me at those important meetings. So when I want to seal a deal in writing, I call Western Union and send a mailgram message. Don Knotts Karate Schools can't miss! The old impact of a telegram. At a fraction of the cost, wraps it up the next business day. Well, I look macho in my black belt.
When your secretary's not around, call Western Union and dictate a mailgram message anytime.
Hey, sports fans, did you know that now there's a great way to enjoy the series at home? I'm talking about Melrose Coffee and Grain Beverage. Melrose starts with 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees and then blends in roasted grain to take away the bitter edge. So you enjoy full-flavored coffee taste without bitterness. And that should make any sports fan a Melrose fan, too. Pick up some Melrose at your supermarket today and enjoy great coffee taste without bitterness. It's available in ground and instant. So we've gone through the first inning here at Dodger Stadium in California. 5:53. The sun hasn't quite gone down. and the Dodger hopes in ascendancy too. The first blow of the game, Davey Lopes, a home run as he had done in the opening game here at Dodger Stadium, followed quickly by a single, but then Russell was cut down attempting to steal. And then Catfish Hunter really tightened up his belt and struck out Reg Smith and Steve Garvey. And if there's a reason why the Dodgers have not done as well in this series as they had hoped, is that their number 4 and 5 batters, number 3 and 4 rather, Smith and Garvey, have not produced so far. Okay, Bill.
All right, Win, here's Piniella, a right-handed batter for the Yankees, leading off in the second. Piniella, a .286 hitter so far in the series, 6 base hits, 21 times at bat, 4 runs batted in. They play him straight away, and the pitch. Curveball is swung on and missed. Hitting on deck is Greg Nettles. Don Sutton rocks and deals a 1-strike pitch to Piniella. Fastball is low, it's 1-1. The Dodgers a run on 2 hits. The Yankees no runs on 1. We're just in the second. A lot of time. 1-1 delivery to Piniella. Bounce to third base. Deep behind the bag is Say. Long throw to first. In time. Just in time. Piniella sort of threw his bat at the ball. The ball bounced down the line. Say backhanded it deep behind the bag. Just nipped Piniella at first base for out number 1 here in the second inning.
Very close play indeed, but he did get him. As Greg Nettles now comes to the plate, and this man has just been marvelous in the field, and probably is the difference in this series when you consider how the games have gone.
He's batting .143 this series. And now first base umpire Ed Vargo pointing over toward the Yankee dugout, and I think he's pointing toward Lou Piniella. And Gene Michael, the Yankee first base coach, who, by the way, Wynn has just signed a contract to manage the Yankee AAA team at Columbus, Ohio next year. And Michael is trying to keep Vargo away from the Yankee bench, trying to divert his attention a little bit. Meanwhile, Nettles spins away from the plate and goes back and gets a rosin bag. Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. The Yankees are batting in the second inning. 1 out, nobody on. Now Nettles stands in. On deck is Jim Spencer. Infield playing Nettles to pull. First pitch is a curveball. It's down low, ball 1. Sutton waiting for Nettles to get set in the box. Deals a 1-0 pitch to the left-handed batter. Fastball on the outside corner. It's 1-1. Nettles has 1 run batted in so far during the year for the Yankees. He drove in 93 with 27 home runs. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sutton's been in double figures in wins for 11 straight years with the Dodgers. 120 game year, 1976. 1-2, bounce foul past first base. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes on Greg Nettles.
I would say, Bill, by temperament, you couldn't ask for a better competitor than Sutton is, and the Dodgers certainly need him in this game.
Nettles' back shot gets back in as Sutton has a new baseball. Likes the sign from Ferguson. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on, line drive, base hit, right center field. Reggie Smith over quickly, but Monday, the center fielder cuts the ball off, and he'll hold Nettles at first base. Yankees' second base hit of the ball game. They've both been singles. Nettles on at first base, 1 down. Here's Jim Spencer. Spencer playing for the injured Chris Chambliss. Chambliss has a sore right wrist. Hurts him when he swings the bat. Spencer, a left-handed hitter like Chambliss. Nettles out first with 1 away. Pitch to Spencer. Fastball misses inside, ball 1. Spencer's 2 for 9 in the series. Batted .227 on the year for the Yankees. 7 home runs, 24 runs batted in limited appearances. Chambliss plays most of the time. Now the set by Sutton. The 1-0 to Spencer. Too high, fastball, 2 balls, no strikes. Back in 1977, when this fella, Jim Spencer, had 2 8-run batted in games with the Chicago White Sox. Pretty good low fastball hitter. Now Sutton taking plenty of time. Likes the signs from first. Checks Nettles at first base. And backs off. Nettles goes back a step toward first. Greg being held there by Steve Garvey, the Dodger first baseman. Now Spencer backs out and time is called. The Dodgers lead 1-0 on a Davy Lopes home run. On a 2-0 pitch, first inning off Catfish Hunter. Lopes' 3rd home run of the series. Pitch to Spencer. Outside, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS, New York.
So they count 3 balls, no strikes on Jim Spencer. The pitch is right in there, taken 3-1. Brian Doyle's on deck. Now Spencer backs out, takes a look at his third base coach, Dick Hauser. Nettles, moving off first base, also checks out Hauser. 3-1 pitch, runner not going. Too high, ball 4, Spencer walks. So Jim Spencer walks on a 3-1 pitch. That'll move Nettles down to second base and bring on the Yankees' second baseman, Brian Doyle. Doyle filling in at second base along with Fred Stanley for the injured Willie Randolph. And he has certainly had a pretty good series. He's been up 12 times, 4 base hits. And he has done the job with the glove. Dodgers now infield back looking for 2. Yankee runners lead off first and second with 1 away. Pitch to Doyle. Swung on and missed.
Doyle is normally a pretty good contact man.
Does not drive the ball, so the Dodgers bring their infield in. Baker in left, Mundy in center, and Reggie Smith with that great arm out in right field. They also shade Doyle just a bit toward left. The 1-strike pitch, bounced foul. That'll make the Yankee dugout on the first base side. No balls, 2 strikes. Greg Nettles down at second base. Jim Spencer on at first base. 1 away here in the second inning. The Dodgers have a 1-0 lead. Sutton taking a lot of time reading signs from Ferguson. Now he finds one that he likes. He starts up and Doyle backs out and time is called. Yankee batter on deck is Bucky Dent. Now we're ready. Sutton's at the belt. Checks Nettles. The pitch. Too high, a waste pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Doyle. Game 6 of the 1978 World Series. Dodgers won the first 2 here. Yankees won the next 3 at Yankee Stadium. Here's a 1-2 to Doyle. Curveball, loop to left center. After it is Baker, and he will not get to it. Past him. Around third base, Nettles will score, and they'll hold Spencer at third base. We've got a tie ball game. They had Baker playing in shallow and near the line in left field, and Brian Doyle looped one in the left center field. Baker could not get to it. Got it on the first hop. By the time he got the ball back in, Nettles had scored from second base, and Brian Doyle had gone on to second, and Spencer had stopped in third, and we've got a tie ball game win.
What are you going to do with these Yankees? Here's a new kid. He's not an old Yankee, but he's already learned the Yankee technique of not swinging away, punch the ball when necessary, handle the bat. That's been the secret of the Yankee attack here. They're not swingers, they're handlers. Just like a pitcher can be a pitcher and a thrower, the Yankees bat with intelligence, and in their large park, it's especially valuable, and it worked here too. Bill?
The Dodgers keep their infield back for Bucky Dent. Curveball is a called strike on Dent. Jim Spencer's down at third base. Brian Doyle down at second. We've got a 1-1 tie in the second inning with 1 away. Bucky batting at .350 this series, 7 for 20. He's driven in 4 runs. Sutton winds and deals a 1-strike pitch. Outside, a slider, it's 1-1. The Dodgers willing to give up a run here early. Or should they give that run up? The Yankees would lead by 1. They've got their infield back. Say, Russell, Lopes, and Garvey. The 1-1 to Dent. Breaking ball hit back up the middle and through, base hit. Spencer scores. Doyle around third base. The throw will not be in time. He'll score. Ball gets past the catcher, Joe Ferguson, and now Doyle will go on to second base. And the Yankees now lead 3-1. Well, Bucky did a bouncer up the middle, just got past the pitcher, Don Sutton. Lopes could not get to the ball. 2 runs scored. And somebody will pick up an error. They'll give it to Joe Ferguson, the catcher, allowing Dent to go to second base.
I would. It went right through his legs. And so Dent found the hole to the right of second base, got it to the left of the charging Davy Lopes. And just as quickly as that, it's 3-1 New York.
And Dent now has 6 runs batted in for the series. Time is called now. Davy Lopes wants to talk to Don Sutton.
I think that's a tactic to get the Dodger relief corps a little time out there in left field.
They're busy. Lopes spins now, goes back to second base. He's walking slowly to give that bullpen time to get some more work in. So Bucky Dent now moves off second base. Still only one out here in the top of the second. The Yankees have scored 3 times to take a 3-1 lead over the Dodgers. Mickey Rivers, the batter. He's been up once, and Lopes threw him out in the first inning. Pitch to Rivers. Bounce toward first base, charged by Garvey. It's a foul ball. Ball just bounced foul at the last moment. Garvey got it. Now he checks with home plate umpire Joe Brinkman, and Brinkman tells him that the ball was foul.
Yeah, Garvey appealed. Incidentally, Bill, the Dodger relief corps is out there to put out the fire, and beyond the left field stands is another fire. I understand it's 2 cars, a lot of dark smoke. It's not going to be serious, except for the people who own the car, of course.
The count, no balls and a strike on Rivers. And the pitch. Hit on the ground to second base. Lopes digs it out. He'll throw it on to Garvey. They've got Rivers, and on the plate, Dent goes to third. There are 2 outs now. Roy White, who got the Yankees' first base hit. He slashed a single to left center field in the first inning, but was left stranded as Munson and Jackson bounced out. White, a switch hitter, in left-handed. Sutton taking a long time reading Ferguson's signs. Now he's got one he likes, and the pitch to White. Fastball moves him back inside. Only 4 Yankees have played more games than Roy White in a Yankee uniform. Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Yogi Berra, and Babe Ruth. Now Sutton's 1-0 pitch to White. On the outside corner, it's 1-1. When you think about it, Win, that's quite a record. Roy's played more games than a guy like the Scooter or Phil Rizzuto or Elston Howard. He's been around a while. Here's a 1-1 pitch to White. Curveballs are called strike 2, 1-2.
Bill, do you think he'll get him in the Hall of Fame like those fellows who are ahead of him?
Well, I don't think so. Talking about a Ruth and a DiMaggio and a Berra. The Mantle. But he certainly has not embarrassed himself. This ball's hit in the air left center, going back is Baker. He's got plenty of room and makes a catch, and the side is retired. Yankees pick up 3 runs on 3 base hits, 1 Dodger error, and at the end of 1.5 innings of play, the Yankees lead the Dodgers 3-1.
There's nobody exactly like you. And that's why whatever work you do, whatever Ford or Lincoln Mercury vehicle you want, Ford Credit is ready to help. Help with simple, time-saving, flexible plans to make that car your own. You see, the automotive financing people at Ford Credit understand your needs and the importance of financing flexibility. They know how vital it is to tailor payments to your budget, to give you a helping hand if illness strikes, you're laid off, or your spouse quits work. And the credit decision is quick. In fact, your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer can handle everything right in the showroom. So remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
It's 3-1 Yankees as the Dodgers come to their second at-bats here at Dodger Stadium as night begins to come over the stadium. A ripple of apprehension in the crowd as to those of us who have rooted or played against the Yankees throughout the years, and I must include myself. There seems to be an inevitability about these guys, even in the era of their pinstripe efficiency and their greatest of players. Nobody would say that this club is like the 27s or the 30 or the 40s. They had a quiet efficiency that they just munched you into the ground. This club doesn't quite do that, but it uses every inch of its ability, and I can't say it again too many times about their bat handling rather than swinging. They're not pinstriped. There's many a tempest and many a teapot, as you've read. But somehow, when they manage to get out on the field, they put it together. And it's up to the Dodgers, not their fans, and not the Los Angeles sports writers. It's up to the Dodgers if they're going to get back into this series. And here we go, Bill.
Ron Say, who hit a 3-run home run off Catfish Hunter in the 6th inning of Game 2, leads off, and he swings and misses a slider. In fact, Say has hit both his World Series home runs off Catfish Hunter. Say, so far in the series, has been up 17 times, has 5 base hits. Yankees playing deep and left with Roy White. Here's Hunter's 0-1 pitch. Misses down low, it's 1-1. Bottom of the second, the Yankees lead 3-1. They have 3 runs on 4 base hits. The Dodgers 1 run on 2 base hits. Now Hunter's 1-1 delivery to Say. Low and outside, 2-1. For the Dodgers here in the second, Ron Say, Dusty Baker, and Rick Mundy, the first 3 batters. 2-1 pitch to Say. Swung on, hit deep to left. White going back, had a hard time picking up the ball in the middle of the warning track and makes a catch. Well, there's one away. White, as soon as that ball got up in the air, had a tough time finding it, then went back in the middle of the warning track and deep left and made the catch.
Well, he is going to have, as all the outfielders are going to have at this particular juncture of the day and night, it's the same that we have as drivers in twilight. Things begin to haze up. It's a little difficult to get your depth perception. The fire is pretty much under control if you're interested.
Here's Dusty Baker. And Baker takes inside, ball 1. Baker's been up 18 times in this series, has 5 base hits. One of those base hits a home run, and that's the only run he's driven in. 1-0 to Baker. Swung on and fouled off the right side. It's 1-1. Yankees lead 3-1. Dodgers batting bottom of the second. 1 out, nobody on. As Hunter starts up, Baker backs out, and time is called by home plate umpire Joe Brinkman. Now the 1-1 delivery. Swung on it on the ground, a shortstop. Dead digs it out. Long throw over to Spencer and plenty of time. There are 2 outs.
Bill, I think it should be noted that a 2-run lead is not going to be safe in this game because of the pitchers. Both Hunter and Sutton have given up a home run every 7 innings pitched. Hunter's already given his up. Sutton, of course, would be vulnerable, but one blow can change the complexion of this game, as it did against Catfish when Say unloaded for 3 earlier in the second game.
Well, with 2 outs, nobody on, the batter's Rick Mundy. He's been up 10 times in this series, has 2 base hits. Mundy, a left-handed batter. First pitch hit on the ground. Doyle, the second baseman, has a nice hop, flips over to Spencer, and the side is retired. Dodgers go 3 up and 3 down, and through 2 innings of play, the Yankees 3, the Dodgers 1.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later, you'll own General's.
For 60 years, General Tire has been one of the nation's leading tire manufacturers. But General Tire means more than tires. Our one-stop car care centers are staffed by experts who know how to take care of your car, whether it's wheel alignment, wheel balance, lube and oil change, muffler, shock absorbers, brake, or batteries. You get fast, dependable service using name brand parts and materials. Your car gets a free 7-point safety check, too. And best of all, it's priced right. For tires and service, check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later, you'll own Jet Bros. Sooner or later, you'll own Jet Bros.
So, we go to the top of the third. The Yankees, by virtue of the 3-run rally in the second inning, leading 3-1. The crowd a little on the quiet side. They gave their Dodgers a boisterous welcome to show them that they still were behind them despite the disaster of the 3 straight losses in New York. There is now a slight apprehension in the stands. You can sort of feel it. Having lived there myself, I know how they feel. All it's going to take, though, is a base hit or two, and it'll turn this crowd into a roaring throng. Just about every seat is filled in Dodger Stadium now. As one of the Yankee bright lights, Thurman Munson, who has been really Johnny at the bat the last couple of games, Bill.
Well, he's picked up 7 runs batted in. He leads off against Don Sutton here in the top of the third. Yankees ahead 3-1 over the Dodgers. It'll be Munson, Jackson, and Lou Piniella. Munson's been up once, not a hit and run. He was thrown out by Dodger shortstop Bill Russell. First pitch to Thurman Munson. Misses outside, ball 1. He's hit safely in 14 of 15 World Series games. So Munson thrives under pressure. The 1-ball, no strike pitch. It's called strike. It's 1-1. Dodgers got on top in the bottom of the first as Davey Lopes got a 2-0 fastball and hit it into the left field seats. Yankees came back with 3 in the top of the second. 1-1 pitch to Munson. Curveball bounced slowly, foul outside third base. 1-2.
Bill, whatever the dynamics of batting are, making up your mind how, when, and where you swing when that ball's coming at you 85 miles an hour, this guy is one of the best. And shooting the ball to right center, right field, and then hitting with power when you least expect it.
1-2 pitch to Munson. Swung on, fouled off. Just got a piece of it. The ball looked like a good slider, low and away. Fouled it back off Ferguson's glove. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Thurman's played most of the year hurt, and right now he's bothered by a sore shoulder. He's a bulldog. Likes to play the game. Sutton rocks and deals a 1-2 pitch to Munson. Hit foul off the right side. That'll be back out of play. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Munson has been in controversy the last couple of years, not saying he wanted to go to Cleveland, etc. Now, the last I heard, he says he wants to stay with the Yanks.
1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good slider. 1 away. So Sutton picks up his first strikeout. He's also walked 1, and that'll bring on Reggie Jackson, the Yankee designated hitter. Russell threw Jackson out in the first inning. Reggie's been up 19 times now in this series. He has 8 base hits, 1 home run, 6 runs batted in.
Bill, in the series that Jackson has played, he's never played on the losing side. Although the first series he was eligible to be in, he did not get in. He hurt himself in the playoffs and did not play.
It was a series against the Mets. Jackson takes high, ball 1 as he has to back off. It's also tied a series record I'm sure he doesn't like. Most times hit by a pitch in Series 3. Swings and fouls it back. Got a good rip and a fastball tailing down and away. It's 1-1.
There are those who say he didn't do his best to avoid a thrown ball between first and second base.
Well, he figured they'd hit him 3 times. He'd just allow himself to be hit by a shortstop.
What did
Dodger pitcher.
Somebody said he's going to become the hippest of all Yankees.
Well, I think he's already the hippest. A ball and a strike on Jackson with 1 out, nobody on. Yankees ahead 3-1 in the third inning. Sutton's 1-1 pitch. Outside. 2-1. Remember this kid, Don Sutton? We had a blazing fastball and a great overhand curveball. First couple of years with the Dodgers. Now he's doing it with guile. 2-1 pitch to Jackson. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Dodger infield playing Jackson to pull. The outfield playing more or less straight away, although Dusty Baker gives Jackson a lot of the left field foul line. Lou Piniella swinging a bat in the on-deck circle. Sutton likes his son. Here's a 2-2 to Jackson. Swung on and missed. Got him with a good fastball, tailing down and away. Second straight strikeout for Don Sutton, and there's 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Here's Piniella. Lou's been up once, bounced to 3rd. Ron Say threw him out on a close play at first base. Now the Dodger infield straightens up for Piniella, and so does the outfield. Pitching very deliberately here. Pitch to Piniella. Called strike, a good fastball. No balls and a strike. And the 0-1 pitch to Piniella. Swung on, sliced foul, upper deck right side. 0-2. Well, here on Tuesday, the Dodgers won the opener 11-5 last Tuesday. Tommy John beat Ed Figueroa. Then on Wednesday, the Dodgers won 4-3 as Bert Hooton bested Catfish Hunter. Then the Yankees took 3 straight at the stadium. Friday 5-1, Saturday 4-3, and Sunday 12-2. 2-strike pitch to Piniella. Check swing, bounces to first base. Garvey digs it out. He'll take it himself, and the side is retired. An easy inning for Don Sutton and the Dodgers. 3 up and 3 down. We're going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Yankees 3, the Dodgers 1.
The day is done. Coming home. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. Welcome home. So just say bud. Say bud. And pour the king of beers and settle back. And to please yourself, no matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair when you say Budweiser.
Let me tell you, friend, settling back with a long day behind you and a cold bud in front of you, man, that's living.
When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Word about Don Sutton. We explained to you that he had hurt an elbow and didn't play in the first series that his team got in 1966. He started the second game in '74 against Oakland. He won that second game with help from Mike Marshall by the score of 3-2. Then he started the 5th in what proved to be the final game. Oakland won all the others. Sutton went in 5 innings, and then he had to leave with the game tied. Mike Marshall came in, held things down in the 6th inning. Then in the 7th inning, an unruly crowd held up the game for 6 minutes. So all this wasn't invented in New York, I guess, the unruliness. Anyway, Mike Marshall, believing in his condition, took no warm-up tosses, threw 1 ball. Joe Rudy hit it for a home run, and that was it. Do you remember that All-California series? It was the first ever.
All right, when Joe Ferguson leads off. Ferguson leading off against Hunter in the bottom of the 3rd. Yankees ahead 3-1, and Joe takes a slider on the outside corner. Ferguson's been up once in the series so far. Ron Guidry struck him out in game 3. Check swing foul off first base. Spencer can't get to it. 2 strikes. Tommy Lasorda, the Dodgers skipper, introducing a couple of new people in the starting lineup tonight. Joe Ferguson and Vic Davalillo. Davalillo is on deck. Here's a 2-strike pitch to Ferguson. Too high, a fastball, 1-2. Joe batted .237 for the Dodgers after he was reacquired from the Houston Astros. Breaking ball is outside, 2-2. They had to give up Rafael Landeskog and Jeff Leonard. 2-2 pitch, swung on, drilled deep to right center field. Pinella's after it, on the run, and makes it. No, drops the ball. He bounced up against the fence as Ferguson holds up at second base. Lou Piniella running deep in right center field, got to the ball, looked like he had it in his glove, bounced up against the fence at the 385 mark, and the ball bounced out. And while Piniella was on the ground, Mickey Rivers, I think, went over and picked that ball up and got it in to the cutoff man in right field, actually in center field. Here it is again. We watch the replay here on television. Rivers comes over and picks the ball up as Piniella really hit the fence hard out there, and Gene Monahan, the Yankee trainer, out now talking to Piniella in right field, along with the Yankee center fielder, Mickey Rivers. So Bill, Ferguson doubles.
Lou never really had control of the ball as he was fading back towards the fence. It bounced off the top of his glove. His momentum carried him face forward, chin into the wall, and it was like taking a right cross right on the jaw, and he went down, rolled over on his back. But evidently he's okay, and so is Joe Ferguson, standing on second base. Put into the lineup for his hitting. He has at least come through in his first time at bat.
Well, he's doubled down at second base. Nobody out, third inning. Here's Vic Davalillo, the designated hitter. Nettles immediately closes up at third base. Yankees leading 3-1. Dodgers threatening. Pitch to Davalillo. He bunts. Good drag bunt. Fizzles up with it to Hunter. And they just nipped Davalillo. And on the play, Ferguson goes to third base. An excellent bunt by Davalillo. He not only got the runner to third base, but he almost beat it out.
That was a picture bunt. Picture bunt down to the first baseman on Hunter with all the experience, and anticipating the possibility of Davalillo was over there just a half step. And now Davy Lopes, who started the scoring with a home run in the first inning. One out, man on third, and Lopes at bat.
And they give Davalillo a sacrifice, so he will not be credited with the time at bat. So Ferguson now at third base. Davy Lopes, who got a 2-0 fastball and hit it over the wall and left, is the batter. Yankee infield back. Pitch is fouled off the right side. That's out of play. Nettles, though, at third base, plays even with the bat. Dent, Doyle, and Spencer back. So the Yankees willing to give up a run. They're leading by 2, bottom to third. That home run by Lopes leading off for the Dodgers. The bottom of the first was his 7th base hit of the series and his 3rd home run of the series. He's got 6 runs batted in. Chance to pick up number 7. A 1-strike pitch. Too high, a fastball. 1-1. Hunter rocks and deals a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, base hit up the middle. Ferguson scores easy. Yankees now lead 3-2.
As he did in the first game played here in Dodger Stadium, Davy Lopes has taken over.
That was his 8th base hit and his 7th run batted in.
5 in that first game when he was personally responsible for the win, and now these 2 tonight.
And he's stolen 2 bases in 2 tries against the Yankees. Now Lopes off first base. Russell's a batter, and the pitch is outside, ball 1. Russell looped one to right center field for a single in the first inning. And once again, Dick Tidrow gets up for the 2nd time and starts throwing in the Yankee bullpen. He was up in the first inning. Throw the first base, and Lopes is back. Davey with the big lead there at first as Hunter checks him. Pitch, there it goes. Call strike, throw to second, and he's safe at second base. Doyle getting the tag down just a little bit too late. So Lopes 3 for 3, stealing bases. Now Doyle talking to a second base umpire, Bill Haller. But as Haller moves out toward the outfield, Bryant spins around, gives the ball back to Hunter. pitch was taken by Russell. It's a strike. It's a ball and a strike on the Dodger shortstop. He has 11 base hits in this series and 24 times up. One out with Lopes off second base. The pitch. This is outside. It's 2-1.
That stolen base play was a thing of beauty. Munson came off from behind there, and like as we used to say as a kid, he threw it all his might. The ball and the runner arrived together, and the decision was for Lopes.
Now Hunter's at the belt. Checks Lopes twice. 2-1 pitch to Russell. Taken outside. 3 balls and a strike. On deck is Reggie Smith. Dodgers putting a little heat on Catfish Hunter here in the bottom of the third. Here's a 3-1 pitch to Russell. Low ball for Russell walk. That's the first walk given up by Hunter. He's chalked up 2 strikeouts. He got Smith and Garvey back-to-back to end the first inning. Now he's in trouble. He's got speed on the bases for the Dodgers. Davey Lopes down at second base. Bill Russell on at first. And with 1 out, the batter is Reggie Smith, who was struck out in the first inning. Yankees have 3 runs on 4 base hits. The Dodgers 2 runs on 4 hits. Now time is called. They want second base umpire Bill Haller to get out of Smith's line of vision. Now Hunter sets. Pitch to Smith. Too high, ball 1. Yankee infield back. They're looking for 2. Hunter's ready. The 1-0 pitch to Smith. Swung on it on the ground to second. Doyle to dip one back to first. Double play. 4-6-3, and the side's retired. Dodgers pick up a run on 2 base hits to leave a man on base. And at the end of 3, it's the Yankees 3 and the Dodgers 2.
But in that last half of the inning, the Dodgers were really going at it. I'm sitting, what, a foot and a half away from Bill here. I couldn't hear him. The Dodger crowd was in there as loud as any Yankee crowd has ever been. And if it's true that the Dodgers said that the Yankee crowd played a part in the 3 wins for New York over there, the Dodger crowd sure did its best here tonight in this last half of the 3rd inning. The Dodgers got their bats on the ball pretty good. In fact, that double play ball hit by Smith was right on the nose, just to the right of second baseman Doyle. And I will say this for the young man. He's gotten a key hit in this game to the wrong field, and he didn't flinch on that play. He took it cleanly, got it to a shortstop, and the Dodgers were out of the inning. That's championship play. But real vigorous hitting by the Dodgers, and like I've said before, each of these pitchers vulnerable to the home run ball. It can happen anytime, any inning, any batter. This batter can knock it out of any park, Bill.
It's Greg Nettles who singled to right center field in the 2nd inning. He scored on that double by Doyle, and Doyle and Spencer scored on a single up the middle by Bucky Dent when the Yankees scored their 3 in the top of the 2nd. The Yankees lead at 3-2 in batting in the 4th inning. First pitch to Nettles. Hit foul. That'll be back out of play. Ferguson gives chase, but Joe doesn't go too far. Big Joe Ferguson. Mentioning Lasorda putting him in the lineup to get some more hitting, and he certainly did that, doubling into right center field and scoring a Dodger run. Now Sutton with the new ball, looks in at Ferguson. Deals a 1-strike pitch to Nettles. Outside, it's 1-1. Greg Nettles, Jim Spencer, and Brian Doyle due in for the Yankees here in the 4th inning. Here's a 1-1 pitch to Nettles. Swung on it in the air, deep center. Right there, though, is Rick Mundy moving to his right, backing up now, and makes the catch. 1 out. Mundy covers a lot of ground with those long strides in center field.
That one had enough height for him to camp under it, though. Greg reached out and punched that ball, and even so, it went almost 390 feet.
Here's Jim Spencer, who walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Spencer replacing the injured Chris Chambliss. Infield playing Spencer to pull. First pitch, a curveball. It just gets the outside corner. No balls and a strike. Spencer backs out. Now he'll get back in. And the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes on Spencer. Lopes stolen base in the bottom of the third. Was the 5th stolen base for the Dodgers in this series. The 3rd by Davey Lopes. The Dodgers have been caught 4 times by the Yankees. 2-strike pitch. Called strike 3. Spencer caught looking at a fastball knee-high on the inside corner. 3rd strikeout for Don Sutton, and there are 2 outs.
In this past season, Sutton has averaged 6 strikeouts a game, Bill.
Here's Doyle. Doubled in a run, scored himself in the 2nd inning. Dodgers playing him the same way they played him back in the 2nd. Although now, Dusty Baker moves a step toward left center. Pitch to Doyle. Misses outside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on, bait up line and knocked down by Sutton, and it'll be a base hit as Lopes can't handle it, trying to throw him out barehanded. It looked like a sure base hit. Somehow, Don Sutton got his glove up. The ball hit the glove, bounced out behind the mound. Bill Russell and Davey Lopes charged. Lopes tried to make the play barehanded, could not control the ball, and Brian Doyle has his 2nd base hit of the ball game, and the Yankees 5th.
So far, it's been the bottom of the Yankee batting order that's done it. Out of the 5 hits they had, 3 belong to Doyle and Dent, the little guys.
And here's Dent, a key 2-run single in the 2nd inning. Bucky line loops one over Russell's head, base hit, shallow left center. Coming in quickly, Mundy. And holding at 2nd base, Brian Doyle. A little flare out to shallow left center field that just eluded Dodger shortstop Bill Russell.
No sooner had I mentioned that it was the little guys that were doing it. Now it's 4 out of the Yankees' 6 hits that belong to Doyle and Dent.
Here's another little guy, Mickey Rivers.
And Rivers got to Sutton for 3 hits in the first time they met.
But so far in this ball game, he's 0 for 2. He's bounced out twice to Davey Lopes at 2nd base. 2 outs. Rivers backs off a curveball. It's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees ahead 3-2. They have runners at 1st and 2nd here in the top of the 4th with 2 outs. Now Sutton sets and checks. 1-0 pitch to Rivers. Swung on and fouled off. Fouled straight down, bounced up and hit Mickey while he was still in the batter's box. So it's 1-1.
Actually, it hit the bat while Mickey was in that typical baton twirling routine. That every time he swings the bat, as you know, he does a double twist and an infant, whatever that is. Has he always done that, Bill?
Well, since I've known him, he has done it with the California Angels and now with the New York Yankees. Doyle off 2nd, then off 1st, 2 outs. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Line to left field, but right there is Baker. Backs up a step, makes the catch, and the side is retired. Yankees, no runs, 2 hits, they lead 2. And at the end of 3.5, the Yankees lead the Dodgers 3-2.
There's a kind of man who's mighty proud. Proud of his car, and you'll hear him say out loud, I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP.
The man he's singing about is the kind of man who can work with his hands. A man who knows what he's doing when he changes the oil filter on his car. He knows that filter's got a lot of hard work ahead, so when he goes to buy a new one, he thinks twice, and he gets the STP double oil filter. It works full time to filter dirty oil. And when you think of how hard your engine works, that makes good sense. The STP double oil filter. When a guy thinks twice about his car.
I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, It's STP.
Pitcher's life is not an easy one. You take Sutton, the last 5 batters he faced, or that is the first and the third inning, he struck out 3 of them. Then the 2 little guys who just poked the bat out there get 2 singles on him, he's in trouble. And if Baker isn't standing right in front of that line drive of Rivers, he was in real trouble. All of this coming to you, of course, on CBS, your #1 radio network for news, programs, and sports. The Masters, Triple Crown, Open Tennis Championship, Baseball All-Star, World Series, and the top of the first batter in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
And that's Steve Garvey, who's been up once against Hunter, and Hunter struck him out in the first inning. It's 3-2 Yankees. Yankees 3 runs on 6 base hits. The Dodgers 2 runs on 4. 1 error in the ball game so far. That was by Joe Ferguson, the Dodger catcher, allowing a throw to get through him from the outfield. Here's the first pitch to Garvey. Swung on and fouled off. No balls, 1 strike. Hunter now gets a new ball, and time is called as Joe Brinkman wants the Dodger bat boy to pick up that baseball. Back by the screen. The 1-strike pitch to Garvey. Curveball is popped foul. That'll be back out of play. Munson spins around, but it's way back in the seats behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes. For the Dodgers here in the 4th inning, Steve Garvey, Ron Cey, and Dusty Baker against Catfish Hunter. Garvey seems to be trying to go the other way with Hunter. 2-strike pitch. Low curveball, 1-2. Steve's been up 21 times, has 5 base hits, looking for his first series run batted in of 1978. The 1-2, swung on and fouled back. Went after a bad pitch, just got a piece of it.
See, Garvey, Steve has struck out his last 3 times in a row, twice with 2 men on. This is not the Garvey who was the MVP of the playoff series and has been in the running for MVP for this club all year long, along with Reggie. The fact that he and Reggie have not been hitting is what's put the Dodgers in the bind they're in now.
Here's a 1-2 to Garvey. Too high, it's 2-2. Steve batted .316 during the year for the Dodgers. 2-2 pitch. Missed inside. 3-2. Hit 21 home runs, drove in 113 runs. Now the payoff pitch to Garvey. Swung on and fouled off the right side. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. I can't remember when these last few ball games where Garvey's actually pulled a ball.
He seems to be reaching for the outside corner.
Here's a 3-2 pitch. Swung on it on the ground, and Nettles, he digs it out at third base. Long throw across to Spencer, and they've got Garvey. There's 1 away. Well, we mentioned we hadn't seen him pull too often, and he bounces one, hits the ball sharply to Nettles. And Gregg threw him out from third base.
And Steve ran down that first base line like that ball was headed down the line for a double. All out.
Oh, the good players win. They do not let their hitting affect their fielding or vice versa. They're not catching the ball. They don't let it affect their hitting, and that's the kind of player Garvey is. Here's Cey, the third baseman, fly deep to left in the 2nd inning. A right-handed batter. He takes high, ball 1. Yankees ahead, 3-2. Dodgers batting the bottom of the 4th. 1 out, nobody on base. The 1-0 pitch to Cey is too high. Ball 2. Hunter now getting the ball up.
If he does that, so will Cey.
Here's a 2-0 to Ron Cey. Swung on, popped up, shallow left, backing up is Bucky Dent, the Yankee shortstop calling. He settles under the ball and makes the catch. There are 2 outs. That'll bring on Dusty Baker, the Dodger left fielder. Baker's been up once and Dent threw him out. Baker's been up 19 times this series, 5 base hits. One of those 5 base hits, a home run. Last year, Dodgers coming into the series with 4 guys with at least 30 home runs. Reggie Smith, Steve Garvey, Ron Cey, and Dusty Baker. Here's the first pitch to Baker. Swung on it on a ground to shortstop. Dent comes up with it. Throws to first base just in time. A sparkling fielding play by Yankee shortstop Bucky Dent, gunning down Dusty Baker for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers. Through 4 innings of play. The Yankees lead the Dodgers 3-2.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, today we're talking with another captain of industry. Sir, could you tell us about your company?
Yes, I have a company where I braid people's legs and I manufacture merry-go-round horse eyes. It's a conglomerate.
Oh, sounds complex. Tell me, how do you control this conglomerate?
Very simple. I use a Quantel Business Computer.
Oh, you're a computer expert, too.
Are you kidding? I don't know a thing about computers. I used to think that software was a programmer's long john.
Yes, then why a Quantel Business Computer?
Because it speaks my language.
What language is that?
English, my friend, English.
Oh, you mean like how now, brown cow?
That's the idea. And with Quantel's plain English programming, I didn't have to hire some white-coated wizard to help me run my business. And with the money I saved, I was able to acquire another company for my conglomerate.
What company was that?
A chain of coin-operated marriage chapels.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
You know, as you watch this game that features the best there is in both the major leagues, can't help thinking back to where it all began. And as a father, and Bill White and all the rest of us who've seen our kids play, it brings to memory the Little League and how many have gotten their start in the Little League. Boy, there's 2,500 Little Leaguers, I understand, playing some level of organized baseball. And down on the field now, Roy White, Chris Chambliss, Jim Beattie, Ed Figueroa, Bucky Dent, and Sparky Lyle all played Little League ball. And for the Dodgers, Garvey, Hooten, Lopes, John Sutton, and Mundy. So, what'll I say? You start them out right, and some of them will end up like Bill White.
Maybe my sons, Tommy, Mike, and Steve, they played Little League baseball.
How about that?
Yep, back in Chalfont, Pennsylvania, if I can get a plug in for Chalfont, Pennsylvania. Here's Roy White leading off against Don Sutton here in the 5th inning. Yankees ahead 3-2. Say shortens up at third base, and the first pitch to White. It's a called strike. Ferguson drops the ball, but it's a strike on the outside edge. No balls and a strike. White is single and he's flied out. Now he wants that baseball. No, Sutton wants to throw it out. And Brinkman throws it out. Who said Sutton wanted to throw scarred baseballs? He found out that baseball was scarred up. He threw it out. Here's a 1-strike pitch to White. He bunts up in the air, foul off third base. Nobody can get to it. Save. Picks it up in foul territory, gives it back to Sutton. 2 strikes on White.
It's only 4 innings old, this game, but evidently each team is beginning to feel that 1 run is going to mean, so I still think, since both pitchers are prone to the home run ball, 1 run is not going to do it, or 2 runs is not going to do it. And we're getting to the point where it may end up that the relief corps is going to be the difference in this game.
Here's a 2-strike pitch to White. Did he check his swing? They ask at third base, and the third base umpire, John Kibler, says that White went too far. It's a strikeout for Sutton. It's his 4th strikeout of the ball game. White tried to hold up on a pitch going down and away from the left-handed batter, and John Kibler thought he went too far. Here's Munson, who's bounced out and struck out. Thurman's 0 for 2. He's been up 22 times now in the series, has 7 base hits, 7 runs batted in. Thurman takes plenty of time getting set in the batter's box. Now Sutton's first pitch to Munson. Hit foul over the Yankee dugout, now to play off the right side. No balls and a strike.
Munson has a regular ritual when he gets up to the plate. He unbuttons his batting glove, then he buttons it back, then he twicks his cap, and he sets his right leg, then twings his cap again, then he's that swing of the bat to get himself into rhythm.
He takes plenty of time. Here's a one-strike pitch to Munson. Swung on and missed. Good slider going down and away. No balls, 2 strikes.
All that prologue, and then he missed.
Term says something to Joe Ferguson, the catcher, as he steps back in. Here's Sutton's 2-strike pitch to Munson. Misses outside. 1-2. Dodgers got on the board first. A leadoff home run by Davey Lopes. Yankees picked up 3 in the second. Dodgers came back with 1, bottom to third. 1-2 to Munson. Hit on the ground. 1 hopper to say. He digs it out. Throws on the first base and plenty of time. 2 outs. A smash, a 1-out smash to Ron Say, and he got Munson. Reggie Jackson. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Bounces short and struck out. Jackson's been up 20 times now in this series. Has 8 base hits. He's driven in 6 runs with 1 home run. Greeted warmly by this Dodger crowd. Here's Sutton's first pitch to Jackson. Called strike on the outside corner. 0-1.
And Reggie, with a sort of petulant, goes to his lips and, you know, I got to get into this. I'm sure all this booing is music to his ear, this man of charisma. Cheer for him or boo him, but don't ignore me. I think that's his method of operating. Now he stops the play.
I tell you, if he let crowd reaction bother him, he wouldn't be in baseball.
This man knows how to use the stage. Nobody's going to upstage him. He's center stage all the time, whether he strikes out or hits a home run.
Here's a 1-strike pitch to Jackson. Too high, 1-1. Most players allow the visiting crowds or the crowd, and when you visit the town, you just blank them out of your mind. You feel if they're booing you, you must be hurting them.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-1 now to Reggie Jackson. Takes a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sutton working Jackson in and out. He got the fastball over the outside corner, then wasted one. Came back on the inside corner. And it's 1-2 with 2 down. 5th inning, the Yankees ahead 3-2. Now Sutton wants another pitch, and that makes Jackson back out. Time's called by Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire. Now Jackson stands back in. The 1-2 to Reggie Jackson. Checks the swing, fouls it off.
You know, Bill, for about everybody else in this ball game, coming to the plate is a time at bat. Every time Reggie comes out, it's a confrontation. The crowd comes to it, the pitcher comes to it. There's no question but what Sutton is putting extra, everything he has on these pitches.
Got to check that pitch when the scoreboard has 2-2. Maybe Sutton threw something that Ferguson couldn't handle. Looked like the ball fouled off Jackson's bat, but it's 2-2 on the board. That's why Joe started toward the ball quickly, thinking that Jackson might have gone too far, but he was called back by home plate umpire Joe Brinkman. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed. You know what that is? That's strike 3. Second time Jackson's gone down on strikes. And the side is retired. 3 up and 3 down. We're going to the bottom half of the 5th inning here at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees 3, the Dodgers 2.
Fill her with Getty unleaded regular, please.
Hey, Clarice, you see that guy getting gas across the island? You know who that is?
No, Lester.
That guy is Jackie Stewart. Do you realize he's won 3 world driving championships? Hey, Jackie, what you doing here?
Buying gasoline.
You use Getty, too? Hey, Clarice, Jackie Stewart uses the same gasoline as Lester J. Boyle.
Well, you're in the big time now, Lester.
Hey, Jack, do you know something about Getty us regular everyday drivers don't know?
I know Getty unleaded regular burns clean like an unleaded.
I knew that.
But it's got the power of a regular gasoline.
Well, I knew that.
And it costs a few cents less than most other major unleadeds.
Is that important to great racing drivers?
To great Scottish racing drivers, it is.
Getty unleaded regular. More power for less money.
So through 4.5, it's the Yankees by virtue of their 3-run second inning, and the Dodgers. Lopes a homer in the first and a single run in the third inning, and that's where we rest. 3-2, the Yankees. But it's getting to that part of the game where the tension gets a little tougher. The crowd, both brisk and apprehensive. And as we notice, 55,985 here. You would assume 55,000 of them pulling for the Dodgers to pull this one out and stay alive in the series. And it's the home team at bat, last of the fifth. Okay, Bill.
Hart win, and Rick Mundy leads off against Catfish Hunter here in the fifth. The Yankees lead by 1. Mundy's been up once and bounced out. He backs off a fastball inside. These two guys, Mundy and Hunter, teammates from 1966 through 1967. Fastball is fouled back by Mundy. It's 1-1. Bottom third of the Dodger batting order, Rick Mundy, Joe Ferguson, and Vic Davalillo do in against Catfish Hunter. Hunter with a new ball looks in at Munson for a sign. The 1-1 pitch to Mundy. Too high, 2-1. Preston Gomez, the third base coach for the Dodgers. Jim LeFever coaching at first. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Change-up, called strike on the outside corner, 2-2. It's the first change Cat's thrown all night. Here's a 2-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Mundy goes down swinging. That's the third strikeout for Hunter, and there's one away.
I was going to say, Bill, you can feel it entirely all over this stadium. They know that Hunter is not the Hunter of old, that this is about the time of game he starts getting a little shaky. He's gone 5, he's gone 6. And you can hear the crowd. You can feel them more than hear them.
And here's Joe Ferguson, who doubled and scored in the third inning. He fouls the pitch back. Ferguson is now 1 for 2 in the series. We mentioned Guidry struck him out in game 3, but he doubled and scored in the third inning here. Fouls this one back and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. He was a big, strong right-handed hitter. Hunter with a new ball. Looks in at Munson. He rocks and deals a 2-strike pitch. Swung on it into center field. Coming on is Rivers on the run, and he'll make the play. Mickey Rivers, he got a good jump. 2 outs.
And the ball hung up just enough for Mickey to get to it.
Here's Vic Davalillo, the designated hitter, with Ferguson at second base. Nobody out in the third inning. Davalillo tried to drag one down the first baseline. Did it. Good bunt. But Spencer got to it, got it to Hunter. Davalillo had done his job. He got Ferguson at third base. Ferguson scored from there on a single by Davy Lopes. Pitch to Davalillo. Outside, ball 1.
Bill, look at the way the Yankees have set themselves in the field. Nettles almost in on the grass. The entire infield in. Mickey Rivers in. The left fielder in. And Pinella quite back.
Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Davalillo hit .344 to win the Mexican League batting title back in 1977. 2-0 to him. Swung on, pop foul over near the Dodger dugout. Over there's Nettles and can't get to it. Ball hits on the roof and bounces back in the seats. 2-1.
Davalillo, like Mota, the 1-2 punch in the pinch hitting department for the Dodgers, uses the bat like an instrument rather than a flail. Scientific, like Manny. And look at the way he's got that infield. He's got him thinking.
Here's a 2-1 to Davalillo. Swung on and missed. Change 2-2. Vic's been in 3 World Series with 3 different teams. The Pittsburgh Pirates, with the Oakland A's, and now with the Dodgers. That ties an all-time record, I'm told. Here's a 2-2 to the left-handed batter. Line foul outside third base and into the mezzanine down the left side. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes on Vic Davalillo. There are 2 outs and nobody on. In the bottom half of the 5th inning at Dodger Stadium, the Yankees lead 3-2. Hunter's 2-2 pitch. Slow bouncer toward third. Nettles has it. He better hurry. Flips to first base if got him. Nettles moving to his left, throwing out Davalillo for out number 3. And at the end of 5, the Yankees 3, the Dodgers 2.
At Ford Credit, we've been helping people finance their cars for 18 years. So we realize that sometimes a personal situation may cause you some concern about getting credit. For example, maybe you want to finance a second car and wonder whether you'll qualify. Maybe you've just changed jobs and you're concerned that this will affect your credit. And then again, maybe your income is subject to seasonal ups and downs. Or maybe you're just out of school and want to start building a credit rating. Well, at Ford Motor Credit Company, we believe in people. So whatever your personal situation, have your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer call us. He'll lay out a wide selection of payment plans. And credit decisions are quick while you're in the showroom. Remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
At the end of 5, it's Yankees 3, Dodgers 2. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS, New York.
Fans, keep your memories of championship baseball alive. And the way this one's going to end, I think that isn't going to be hard. I think this one is going to explode one way or another. Either nobody's going to get another run, and it's going to be that kind of tension, or they're both going to start hitting it out of the park. But one way or another, the tickets to this game have been made collector's items. You can get 2 commemorative tickets for each of the 78 series teams, colorfully printed and plastic laminated for long-lasting souvenir value. Now, for your souvenir tickets, send check or money order for $3 to Souvenir Tickets, Box 969, San Bruno, California, 94066. Box 969, San Bruno, California, 94066. That's Souvenir Tickets. Don't forget to include your name and address. The preceding has been brought to you on behalf of Major League Baseball. And we're going to the top of the 6th. It's the enemy as far as the 55,000 and some odd are concerned here. They lead the hometown Dodgers by a run. Sutton, who has been pitching very strong ball, throwing the ball by the Yankees when he has to, on the mound, facing Lou Piniella. Lou steps out for him. And of course, the crowd is just hoping that the Yankees just don't score anything. Don't score anything till we can get a rally going. And of course, that's what Sutton is thinking too. Bill.
Piniella's been up twice and bounced out both times. On the first pitch, the curveball. It's down low, ball 1. Don Sutton so far in this ball game has struck out 5, getting Reggie Jackson twice. The 1-0 pitch, chop foul outside third. It's 1-1 on Piniella. He's got Munson once, White once, and Spencer once for his 5 strikeouts. Hunter's chalked up 3 strikeouts. Smith, Garvey, and Rick Mundy. 1 ball, 1 strike on Lou Piniella, leading off of the Yankees here in the 6th inning. The Yankees lead 3-2 over the Dodgers. Fouled back by Piniella, 1-2.
Bill, I think all the pressure is on Sutton. There isn't anybody in the Dodger bullpen that has the stature of Rich Gossage or the performance, although Bob Welch has shown well. Has anybody told you why Welch has not pitched more?
I believe he has had some sore side at some point during the season, and he was up earlier in this ballgame. The 1-2, line foul, out of play. There's a rumor that Welch had a sore arm, but I believe the Dodgers squelched that and said it was simply a side that might be sore. Of course, when he pitched against Jackson here earlier in this series, it looked like anything was sore.
But then again, when he returned, he was hit for the winning run by this same Lou Piniella.
Yeah, but he had shown him a lot of heat up until Pinella's base hit. Here's a 1-2 now to Piniella. Too high, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lou Piniella, Greg Nettles, and Jim Spencer against Don Sutton in the 6th inning. Here's a 2-2 to Piniella. Swung on and foul tip. Goes back toward the screen. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yankees have 3 runs on 6 base hits. The Dodgers 2 runs on 4 base hits. And as Win Elliott mentioned, it's getting late. We're in the 6th inning here at Dodger Stadium. The 2-2 delivery to Piniella. Swung on line left field, base hit. Baker will play it on the first hop. He'll get it back in, and Piniella will hold it first. Yankees 7th base hit.
And that's Lou's first of the night.
And it looks like we're going to get some action now in the Dodger bullpen.
I would think so. The Dodgers can't afford any more runs.
Bob Welch had been up earlier. Here's Nettles. He singled and scored and flied to center field, 1 for 2. Sutton sets and deals. Fastball is fouled back. Nettles has been up 23 times in the series, has 4 base hits. A run batted in. Of course, in Game 3, when the important game for Ron Guidry was all Nettles, making great plays over third base, 4 of them.
And I believe that was the important game for the Yankees. They were down 2-0. Had they not won that game, it likely would have been all over by now.
The 1-strike pitch is popped up into shallow right field. Coming on is Reggie Smith. He calls for the ball, and the right fielder makes the catch for the first out. Moving back to first base is Piniella, and that'll bring on Jim Spencer, who has walked and scored and struck out. Oh, Spencer 0 for 1. He's been up 10 times now in this series, has 2 base hits. Moving on deck is Brian Doyle. We mentioned earlier that Bob Welch, the young right-hander, is out warming up for the Dodgers in their bullpen located out in left field. Now Sutton sets. Checks Piniella. Pitch to Spencer. Swung on and missed. Spencer swinging through a high fastball. No balls and 1 strike. Don Sutton has really turned it on since the 2nd inning when he allowed the Yankees to score all 3 of their runs. Now the right-hander sets and deals a 1-strike pitch. Swung on and popped back out of play. Ferguson giving chase, but it will be back in the seats. 2 strikes. Since giving up those 3 runs in the 2nd inning, Win Elliott, Sutton has struck out 5 Yankees and given up just 3 harmless singles. Now he's got a new ball, looking in at Ferguson for a sign. He sets and backs off, and Piniella leans back towards first base. He's being held there by Steve Garvey. Now we're ready again. The 2-strike pitch to Spencer. Swung on and missed. Now they're going to throw the first base for some reason. He's automatically out, and Piniella can go to second base. Ferguson coming up and throwing the first base, and with first base occupied, Spencer was automatically out. He allowed Piniella to go on to second base. It's a strikeout for Don Sutton, and I don't know if they're going to give the pitcher a wild pitch or what to allow Piniella to get into second base, but a heads-up play by Lou Piniella. He's down at second with 2 outs. Ball's down in the dirt. Spencer swung at it. And Piniella went to second base. Of course, Spencer could not run because first base was occupied. Well, Piniella down at second. The first pitch to Doyle was high. Ball one. Now the set. 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. It's 1-1.
Bill Ferguson's throw, which was unnecessary, had it gone gaily into right field, Piniella could have scored.
Obviously. And it is a wild pitch. It's a strikeout on Jim Spencer. Piniella goes into second base. A wild pitch charge to Don Sutton. That might be a key run in this ball game. Of course, with 2 outs, you have to make that play at first base. Here's a 1-1. Check swing down low. Now they check with third base umpire John Kibler, and he said no. Doyle did not go too far. 2 balls and a strike. Perhaps when Joe Ferguson thought there were 2 outs.
I'm thinking in a different direction. Some of the accusations that have been made at Sutton this year about a ball that dips that much.
Here's a 2-1. Too high. Ball 3. 3 balls and a strike on Doyle. On deck is Bucky Dent.
Because that ball did go down into the dirt.
Piniella takes a walking lead off second base. He's checked. 3-1 pitch to Doyle. Swung on line. Base hit center field. Piniella around third. There's going to be a play. The throw will not be in time as Ferguson bobbles the ball and Piniella's safe. And on the throw, Doyle goes to second base. An excellent throw by Rick Mundy. It was right on, but somehow Ferguson could not handle the ball. He bobbled it. Piniella scored. The Yankees now lead 4-2, and that brings out Dodger skipper Tom Lasorda.
And the wild pitch again proves vital, as Bill anticipated it might. Ferguson brought into the game for his power, did get the double that led to the only run that the Dodgers, one of the runs that the Dodgers got. But then that wild pitch, just like the errant third strike back in 1941, which cost the Dodgers a ball game, conceivably could be the play that cost them this one, as they now trail by 2 runs. When fate is not smiling on you, yeah, what else can you say? That was a perfect throw by Baker. Not a one-hopper. It trickled in. There's going to be a change of pitchers. I mean Monday in center field. I would say the runner and the ball arrived just about the same time. The ball didn't scoot in there. It sort of trickled in there, but there was a possibility of a play. Nevertheless, it was not made, and now the Yankees have the lead 4-2. And as we await the appearance of the new Dodger pitcher, let's pause for a brief update from CBS News in New York.
This is Doug Poling, CBS News, reporting on the CBS Radio Network. The Justice Department reported tonight the crime rate in America declined to 3% last year, but there were some significant increases in violent crime, including an 11% increase in reported rapes. President Carter says there is no crisis in the Washington peace talks between Israel and Egypt. Mr. Carter met with both sides separately after Israeli Foreign Minister Dayan said the negotiations had encountered some difficulty. The world chess title has been won by Anatoly Karpov of the Soviet Union, the defending champion. Karpov retained his crown as challenger Viktor Korchnoi resigned from the 32nd game of the match. A proposed settlement of Indian claims involving the northern 2/3 of the state of Maine has been accepted by the White House, Indian tribes, and private landowners. The deal would not cost the state of Maine any money or any state land. This is Doug Poling, CBS News. We now return you to tonight's World Series game in Los Angeles.
Sutton's gone, and it's going to be the young man we were talking about that I wondered why he hadn't been in the series more often, 21-year-old Bob Welch, who faced down Reggie Jackson on the last out of the second game and was defeated by Lou Piniella for the base hit that won the 4th game in 10 innings. There is a thought that Welch has a tender rib cage, but he has been sensational for the Dodgers this year. Won a key game that put them into the West Division championship. He's come from nowhere, from Albuquerque, a college kid out of eastern Michigan. Sheer speed is his forte, and he's now being called upon with 2 outs. The top of the 6th inning, the Yankees leading 4-2. Again, the 3rd time that a Yankee has either reached base or advanced to base as a result of a 3rd strike wild pitch or a pass ball by the Dodger pitching staff. Twice it did not hurt. It certainly did hurt. And this seems to be, I can't help saying it again, a trademark of the Dodger history. Okay, Bill.
All right, Win. Brian Doyle moving off second base. He got there on the throw home with 2 outs, and here's Bucky Dent, who takes low ball 1. Dent very quietly has had an excellent series. He's been up 22 times, has 9 base hits, and he's driven in 6 runs. 2 of them in the 2nd inning for the Yankees in this ball game. The 1-0 pitch to Dent. He takes high, fastball, 2 balls, no strikes.
All the Yankee runs have been driven in by Doyle and Dent. Doyle, who's only playing because Willie Randolph pulled a hamstring, the best second baseman in the league, has now driven in 3 of the runs.
Well, the bottom part of the lineup, as you mentioned earlier, really gave Don Sutton a lot of trouble. Here's a 2-0 to Dent. Swung on and fouled back. It's 2-1. From the 6th man, Greg Nettles on down. Nettles has scored a run. Spencer scored a run. So has Doyle. Doyle's driven in 2 runs in this ball game, and Bucky Dent has driven in the other 2 Yankee runs. So the bottom part of the Yankee lineup, the one doing the most damage here tonight in Los Angeles. 2-1 to Dent is too high. Fastball, 3 balls and a strike. And the bottom 2 hitters, the 8th and 9th hitters win, have 5 of the Yankee 8 base hits. Brian Doyle is 3 for 3, and Bucky Dent is 2 for 2. Now Welch sets. 3-1 pitch. Swung on, loop over the shortstop's head, base hit. Around third base and going in to score is Brian Doyle. Yankees now lead 5-2. So now there's 6 base hits between the last 2 Yankee batters, Brian Doyle and Bucky Dent. 5 singles and a double, and all 5 runs batted in. That's Dent's 3rd run batted in this ball game, and his 7th of the series.
What do they say about packages?
Here's Mickey Rivers. He's 0 for 3. He swings and doesn't get a fastball. No balls and a strike. That looping single to left field by Bucky Dent, the Yankees' 9th base hit in the ball game, and he and Doyle have 6 of those 9. Rivers swings and misses again. No balls, 2 strikes. Mickey's bounced to second twice and lined to Baker left field once. Yankees ahead 5-2 and batting in the 6th inning. Now Welch sets. And the 2-strike pitch. Too high, a ball and 2 strikes. Well, Sutton's record is finished now. He's responsible for all 5 runs. 1-2, fouled back and out of play, just to our right. A lot of noise in that booth next to us.
Yeah.
Remains the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mickey Rivers. Now Welch is ready, and the pitch. Swung on and missed. Rivers goes down swinging, and the side is retired. Yankees pick up 2 more runs in the 6th inning, and at the end of 5 1/2, the Yankees 5, the Dodgers 2.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablet?
No, it relieves headache and congestion, internal sinus pressure, and postnasal drip. And it has added strength.
You mean added strength sign-off?
Exactly.
Added strength sign-off tablets give you pure aspirin plus 50% more sinus drainer.
To help sinus pain while you drain.
Right. And more sinus dryer for postnasal drip.
Added strength sign-off.
The sinus medicine in the bright red box. Take when needed, only as directed.
SINEOFF. Sign-off.
There's a kind of man who's mighty proud. Proud of his car, and you'll hear him say out loud, I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, It's STP, yeah, in my car. It's STP. For the kind of man who changes his own oil, there's now STP motor oil. STP adds more to its oil, more of the extras that help make an oil work. And because STP puts more into it, the guy gets more out of it. For engines in good shape, up to 15,000 miles or 1 year between oil changes and normal driving. And what that means is extra protection for the car he owns and loves. I take good care of what works hard for me. So for my car, it's STP. It's me and STP.
Okay, through 5.5 now. It's the Yankees 5 and the Dodgers 2, and time grows short for the National League champions. Oh, I checked my own figures, and I agree with Bill that Bucky Dent has driven in 3, and Brian Doyle has driven in 2. It's been the two little men who've done all of the run driving in this inning. And it's they who have given the Yankees this 3-run lead. However, remember, in the last month or so, Jim Catfish Hunter has been a 5.5, 6-inning pitcher. He's been prone to the home run ball. This game is not out of the woods as far as New York is concerned. The Dodger crowd comes to it, and so does Davy Lopes.
Lopes is homered and driven in a run with a single, and he takes a curveball for a strike. It was in the 6th inning of Game 2 when Elliot and Lopes led off and singled, setting the way for that 3-run home run by Say. Bounces this one to Nettles. He's to his left, digs it out, throws on the Spencer, and there's one away. Good play by Greg Nettles. Quick reaction going to his left. Well, there's one down. Here's Bill Russell, the Dodgers shortstop. He singled and walked, 1 for 1 in the ball game. Russell's 11 hits are the most in the series since Rusty Staub back in 1973. The all-time record, 13, is held by Bobby Richardson and Lou Brock. As Russell takes a breaking ball low. Brock, of course, with the Cardinals, and Richardson with the New York Yankees. 1-0 to Russell. Swung on it in the air left field. Going back is White. Now he comes in a couple of steps. He makes the catch. There are 2 outs. You know, Hunter now has retired 9 men in a row since walking Bill Russell back in the 3rd inning.
I was about to note that, too. And the plain talker, the Squirrel Hunter, maybe only a 5.5 for a 6-inning pitcher, as somebody's been saying, but so far, he's making them stand up.
Here's Reggie Smith. He struck out and bounced into a double play and takes a breaking ball inside. Ball 1. Yankees leading 5-2. Dodgers batting bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, nobody on. Now Hunter backs off. On deck is Steve Garvey. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Smith. Swung on, bounced foul outside of first. Jim Lefevre, former Dodgers second baseman, grabs it. And he wants it thrown out of the ball game. He gives it to the first base umpire, Ed Vargo, and Vargo will throw it out, and Hunter will get a new baseball. A ball and a strike on Reggie Smith. The Dodger fans start their chant of Reggie. And the 1-1. Change up, called strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes. Hunter has not used that change up often tonight. The next pitch. Up and in. Smith has to back out. 2-2. And the 2-2 delivery to Smith. Too high, ball 3. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Goose Gossage now gets up in the Yankee bullpen. He starts throwing. Here's a payoff pitch to Reggie Smith. Swung on, fouled back over near the Yankee dugout. Munson over there, and the ball cannot be played. It's out of play. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Bob Lemon, when Elliot, realizing that Hunter has been about a 6 or 7 inning pitcher this year, has his bullpen ace, Rich Gossage, up and throwing out in right field.
You would have to think even if the catfish can't hold out and he's pitching masterfully right now, there's nothing automatic in life for baseball.
Here's a 3-2 to Smith. Swung on, full foul, way down the right side. Way back in the seats. The count remains 3-2.
Before that one went rocketing into the stands, just a few feet foul. I was saying there's nothing constant or, automatic in life in baseball, but right now, Rich Gossage is close to it.
3-2 pitch. Swung on, full up the upper deck, foul. Count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. Hunter going with fastballs to Reggie Smith, a pretty good high fastball hitter. But the Yankees lead by 3, and the count is 3-2 on Reggie Smith. We're in the 6th inning. Payoff pitch. Bounce to third base. Nettles charges. Throws on the first base. It got Smith, and the side is retired. 3 up and 3 down for the 3rd straight inning. And at the end of 6, the Yankees lead the Dodgers 5-2.
Don Knotts for Mailgram.
You know, when I throw a party for someone I'm very fond of, I have an easy way to send out the invitations. I make one phone call to Western Union, and they send a mailgram message to everyone on my list. Come to a surprise party! The old impact of a telegram, at a fraction of the cost, really turns them out. Of course, they didn't stay long when they found out the party was for me.
But next time you throw a party, call Western Union and send mailgram invitations. And now here's news about another Western Union service.
Hello?
Hello, honey. I've been robbed.
Oh, no, what happened?
I turned around for a second and my wallet was gone. Some trip. If I don't get $300 real quick, I'm going to...
Now there's a way to handle emergencies like this with one phone call.
Hello, Western Union. I want to send a money order to my husband. My master charge number is 467...
You can send money day or night, 7 days a week, and charge it to your master charge account. Just call Western Union toll-free.
Okay, we're down to the last 3 innings now, and the Yankees hold a 3-run lead, 5-2, 5-9-0 for New York, 2-4-1 for the Dodgers. The Dodgers have taken out Don Sutton, and it's their wunderkind Bob Welch who's in, as he has done for them during the year. He's been their key pitcher in key spots. As the youngster on the staff, and just like Ron Guidry had been the young man and the difference between a good and bad season for the Yankees. They hadn't accomplished the same thing, I don't mean to say that. But here we are with 3 innings to go, and its youth has to be served in the form of Bob Welch, or the Dodgers series and season is over. And to greet him, one of the coolest, most calculating of all the Yankee batters, Roy White.
All right, Win. White has singled in 3 times at bat. 1 for 3 in this ball game. First pitch to White. He takes high, ball 1. It'll be White, Munson, and Jackson against Bob Welch here in the top of the 7th. The Yankees ahead 5-2 over the Dodgers. Fastball is down low. White has to skip rope as he gets out of the way. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Don Sutton struck out 6 before having to leave. He went 5 2/3 innings, responsible for 5 runs. He gave up 8 hits, walked 1, struck out 6. 2-0 pitch, too high, ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes on White. Game 6, Yankees lead the games 1-3-2. Win here by the Yankees, it's all over. Dodgers have their backs against the wall. Too high, ball 4 to White. He's on at first base. Well, last year, the series between the Yankees and the Dodgers went 6 games. The final game, the 6th game, won by the Yankees at the Yankee Stadium. Here's Munson. Bounced to short, struck out, grounded out third to first. Munson's 0 for 3. He's been up 23 times now, 7 base hits in the series. He's hit in 14 of 15 World Series games. Hitless tonight. Munson making Welch wait out on the mound. Time being called by Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire. White a short lead at first base. He's checked by Welch. Pitch to Munson. Called strike on the outside corner. Dodger infield looking for two. That's Say, Russell, and Lopes. Garvey holding White at first base. Nobody out here in the 7th inning. The next pitch is bunted foul. Munson trying to push the ball toward first base to get White down to second. Foul it straight back. Count, no balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Reggie Jackson. Welch sets. 2-strike pitch. Pop foul. That'll be out of play off first base and back in the seats. Dodgers got off to a 1-0 lead in this ball game. A leadoff home run by Davey Lopes, his 3rd home run of the series. The Yankees came back with 3 in the 2nd inning to take a 3-1 lead. Nettles single, Spencer walked, Doyle doubled in a run, Dent singled in 2 runs. Dodgers came back with 1 in the 3rd. Yankees 2 in the top of the 6th. Outside, a ball and 2 strikes to Munson. Now White takes a walking lead at first base. He's checked. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Welch strikes out third. Munson. 2nd time in the ball game, Munson struck out. And there's 1 away. You know, looking a little closer at the scorecards, Win Elliott. We mentioned no damage at all done to the Dodger pitching staff by the first 4 Yankee hitters in this ball game. All the damage done from the number 5 hitter on down.
Yep.
Jackson has struck out twice and bounced to short.
And mostly the 8th and 9th.
And as Welch starts up, time is called. Doug Rowell and Rick Rhoden warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Neither's been used in this series. In fact, Doug Rowell a little bit upset. He won 15 ball games during the year and lost just 9. He wondered why he would not get a chance to start. He's out in the bullpen. Here's a first pitch to Jackson. Swung on deep to right field. That ball is gone. No doubt about that one. That's back in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees score 2 more runs on a long home run by Reggie Jackson, and they now lead by a score of 7-2. Welch tried to sneak that fastball past Reggie Jackson once too often. And Reggie put it in the Yankee bullpen deep in right field, a 2-run home run. And the Yankees now lead the ball game 7-2.
And memories of the final pitch in the 2nd game of the series here. With the ball game on the line, young Bob Welch struck out Reggie Jackson. Their next visit, Jackson got the better.
And Piniella takes a strike.
I was just going to finish it up that Jackson in his last 2 appearances, a single and a home run.
The next pitch to Piniella. Too low, it's 1-1. That's Jackson's 9th series home run. 8 of those have been against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it's his 5th series homer here at Dodger Stadium. 2-0 pitch. Piniella hits it in the air to right center. Mundy's after it. Calling. He calls off Reggie Smith and makes a catch. 2 outs.
Well, they brought young Welch in there to keep the Yankees away, to keep the lead down to just those 3 runs, but it wasn't to be. And it's beginning to look like the Yankees will be the first team in World Series history to drop the first 2 and then come back and sweep the next 4.
Well, you know, Yogi always said it's never over till it's over. It's one of Joe Garagiola's Yogiisms. Here's Nettles. Dodgers have 3 more at-bats in this ball game. Time is called again. Something loose down the right side. A balloon loose. Usher takes it back up. Time was called by Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire, and also John Kibler, umpiring at third base. Nettles is 1 for 3. Curveball is too low, ball 1. He singled and scored in the 2nd inning, fly to center field in the 4th, fly to right field in the 6th. Some more on Reggie Jackson. He has hit in 10 straight World Series games. 1-0 to Neto. Swung on, pulled foul outside first base. It's 1-1. So the Yankees scoring runs in bunches here at Dodger Stadium in this sixth game. They got 3 to take a 3-1 lead in the second. Dodgers came back with 1, bottom of the third. They got 2 in the sixth, 2 more here in the seventh. They lead at 7-2. 1-1 pitch, low, 2 balls and a strike to Nettles. Welch gets a sign and rocks. Here's the 2-1. Swung on it in the air to right field. Reggie Smith right there. Moves to his right a step, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. Yankees score 2 runs on Reggie Jackson's 2-run home run. We're going to the bottom of the 7th to score. The Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2.
The day is done.
Coming home.
It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind.
Welcome home.
So just say bud.
Say bud.
And pour the king of beers and settle back and please yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy chair. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
CBS Radio Sports is going to cover all regular season NFL Monday Night Football games, special doubleheaders, and postseason play. So listen right here. We're through 6.5, and it's 7-2 Yankees. And on the face of it, it looks like the Dodgers are through. But you and I have been around too often to think that. Anything can happen. I'm not going to shill to keep you here for 3 innings. But it can happen. I've seen it happen. I've been at home and heard it happen. I've watched and seen it happen. And this is too good a club to just lie down and roll over. But if the Yankees do it, it'll be the first time any team has done it to the other club with exactly the same margin, 4-2 in 2 years running.
And Gossage is up and throwing before the inning starts. This happening out in the Yankee bullpen. Garvey hits one to left field. White coming on and makes the catch. Steve Garvey swung on Hunter's first pitch and hit a line drive to left field. White digging in, made the catch for out number 1 in the 7th.
And that's the best ball that Garvey has hit in his last 6 times. And wouldn't you know, that is if you're a Dodger rooter, right at Roy White. And when you've been rooting for teams, you know, throughout the years against the Yankees, it seems like they've got something mad. There's a string that goes to their outfielders. What are you grinning at, White?
Ron Say's 0 for 2. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Say's fly to wide and left field. He's also popped to the shortstop, Bucky Dent. He's 5 for 19 in the series. A home run, 4 runs batted in. Changeup, hit in the air left field. White coming on. Can't get to this one. Backs up, plays it on the first hop. And Say holds at first base with a single. So Ron Say picks up the Dodgers' 5th base hit against Catfish Hunter. Hunter had retired 11 in a row before that single by Ron Say. Spencer now letting Hunter know that he'll play behind Say at first base. He's trying to let Hunter know. Now Cat looks over. As Dusty Baker steps in. Baker's 0 for 2. Bounced out both times to Bucky Dent. Last time Dent made a fine play. Hit in the air left field. Roy White coming on. Just inside the line, makes the catch. Say starts toward second base, but decides to hold it first. 2 outs.
Rick Mundy.
Here's Rick Mundy, the Dodgers center fielder. Mundy's 0 for 2 in the ball game. He's grounded to second and struck out. Yankees have 7 runs on 10 base hits. The Dodgers 1 run on, check that, they have 2 runs on 5 base hits. We mentioned most of the Yankee damage done tonight by their last 5 hitters. And actually all of it done by their last 2 batters. Pitch to Mundy. Hunter slips as he turns the ball loose. It's high and away, ball 1. Brian Doyle batting 8th in this ball game. Has double and a run. He's single and a run. He has a double and 2 singles, and 3 times at bat he scored a run driven in 2. Bucky Dent, the 9th place hitter, has 3 singles, and he's driven in 3 runs. So the bottom 2 hitters on the Yankee lineup, 5 of the 7 runs batted in. Reggie Jackson has the other 2. Pulled down the right field line. Lou Piniella over the corner. That ball is a foul ball. Just missed the foul pole. Lou Piniella went as far as he could in the corner. He was sitting there at the 3:30 mark, and the ball just hooked foul, just missing the foul pole.
Bill, you know I'm not a Dodger rooter, but that's what happens. First guy up hits a screaming line drive right at the left fielder. This guy up, Mundy, hits a ball that has to be a home run. So what does it do? On the way in, it just skirts to the right. It's inevitable.
Well, there's some big Dodger in the sky someplace. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. 1-2. Doug Rao warming up in the Dodger bullpen. Say on at first base, 2 outs. Yankees leading 7-2. Dodgers batting bottom of the 7th.
There isn't a man, woman, or child that's rooted for the Red Sox, the Orioles, the Brewers, the Tigers at all who doesn't know exactly what I mean.
Here's a 1-2 to Mundy. It's 2 high, it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now Gossage sits down in the Yankee bullpen.
Or the Royals, or the Angels, or the Rangers.
Here's a 2-2 delivery to Rick Mundy. Swung on, looped in the shallow left, and right there is Bucky Dent. He's there, makes the catch, side's retired. No runs, a base hit, the man left on base. Through 7 here at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later you'll own Generals.
Don't buy tires until you visit your General Tire headquarters. You'll find a tire that's right for you and a price that's set for today's budget. Choose from steel-belted radial, glass-belted polyester cord, and economical 4-ply nylon cord tire. Or go with the sporty look of wide leather whites. They all incorporate General's 62 years of tire building know-how. Quality, choice, price. General has the tire for you. Check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later you'll own Generals. Sooner or later you'll own Generals.
Okay, while we were talking to you, the Dodgers have made a pitching change, which I think pretty well substantiates the fact that Bob Welch is not physically in top shape. He just went this past inning. Is that Doug Rao that's out there?
That's Doug Rao, the left-hander, Win.
There's been a lot of talk as to why Doug has not made any appearances in World Series play. He didn't last year, and he didn't this year. And yet he's been a double-figure winner. Since I don't know, and I am not necessarily going to depend upon what I've heard, I have to depend upon what I see, that the Dodger management just figured that he didn't have it for World Series play, and they have not used him. He did appear in the 4th game last year, but not since then. And he has been one of their regular pitchers during the season. And with the obvious hurt on behalf of Welch, you would have thought that he would have been in here earlier. But that aside, get back to the positive things of this series. You got to take your hat off to the New York Yankees. They were some 14 games behind the seemingly invincible Red Sox in August. Don't have to tell that story again. They came back, folded on the last day, and had to face down the Boston Red Sox in their home park in Fenway Park. Did that. Came back against the Kansas City Royals as they had the past 2 years, beat them in 4 games, lost the first 2 here, and now look like they're going to have swept the next 4. The first time any team has done that in World Series history. So what a year this looks like it's been for the New York Yankees. Okay, Bill.
Here's Jim Spencer against Doug Rao, and the first pitch is inside, ball 1. So Bob Welch goes 1 1/3 innings, gives up 2 runs on 2 base hits. He walked 1 and struck out 2. So Doug Rao, the third pitcher used in this ball game by the Dodgers. Spencer bounces 1 foul outside third base. It's 1-1. Spencer's walked and scored, and he struck out twice. Bottom third of the Yankee lineup, Spencer, Doyle, and Bucky Dent. And they have had a good evening, especially Doyle and Dent. 6 of the Yankees' 10 hits. Curveball misses outside. 2 balls and a strike on Spencer. And Doyle and Dent have driven in 5 of the Yankees' 7 runs. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, looped to third base in foul territory. Right there is Ron Cey, and he makes the catch easily. 1 out.
Brian Doyle.
Here's Brian Doyle. 3 for 3. A run scored, 2 runs batted in. Doyle playing for the injured Willie Randolph. Randolph, a very, very sad young man, not being able to play in this series. Doyle takes outside, ball 1.
And yet, though Willie is an all-star second baseman, how much better could he have done than this young man?
Rao rocks and deals a 1-0 pitch. Swung on and pulled foul. That'll be in the seats off the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, Doyle has been up 15 times in this series, Win Elliott, and he has 7 base hits. It would be hard to improve upon that.
I would think so. That's part of the Yankees' secret. Not only the 9 you see on the field, but the half dozen they have lurking on the bench there.
1-1 to Doyle. Line foul outside first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Fred Stanley, who plays against right-handers, actually against left-handers, has been up 5 times with 1 base hit. So the Yankees have gotten pretty good production from their reserve second baseman.
I would say that this is a salute to the man. Well, here comes the pitch.
Curveball bounced right back to Rao. He stabs it, flips over to Garvey. 2 outs.
Have to take your hat off to the men who are not on that field, who are responsible for this Yankee organization, the general managers over the past couple of years, Gabe Paul and Al Rosen. After all, they're the men who brought these guys here, and the owner, Mr. George Steinbrenner, who occasionally likes to get into the act, got into the act with his money, and he's made it pay off.
Here's Bucky Dent. He takes outside, ball 1. Bucky Dent 3 for 3, all 3 singles, but he's driven in 3 runs. A right-handed batter. Fouled back, it's 1-1. 2 outs and nobody on the bottom half of the 8th inning. Check the top of the 8th. Looking at the bottom of the 8th, the Dodgers will have their catcher, Joe Ferguson, Vic Davalillo, and Davey Lopes. Dent fouls it back, 1-2. And Rao gets new baseball. Dent chokes up on the bat. Does not too often hit home runs. He only hit 5 during the season. A big one, though, in that game against the Boston Red Sox. Curveballs taken low, 2-2.
Bill, that rain game at Yankee Stadium, they lost to the Red Sox. How many innings had that gone? Do you remember? Was it 14 or 18?
The 2 games back-to-back?
No, the first game.
2-2 pitch. Hit up the middle. Over there is Russell, the shortstop, digs it out, throws on the first base. They've got him, and the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down for the Yankees, and we're going to the bottom of the 8th here at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees lead the Dodgers 7-2.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, today we're talking with another businessman. Sir, will you tell us about your company?
Yes, I'm in farm animal clothing.
Oh, you sell farm animal clothing?
That's right. Little hats for chickens, bull boots, pig masks.
Well, that's extraordinary. Tell me, how do you keep track of these items?
That's a very good question. I used to have a great deal of trouble keeping track of pig mask sales figures in my moose antler inventory.
Well, you might say you were on the horns of a dilemma.
Hey, well said. Anyway, then I installed a Quantel business computer and brought everything under control.
A Quantel business computer sounds expensive.
Absolutely not. I lease my Quantel computer for a paltry $345 a month.
Excuse me, but don't you mean a paltry $345 a month?
No, I mean poultry. Because as far as I'm concerned, $345 a month for a Quantel computer is chicken feed.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
7-2 Yankees, last of the eighth. I had asked Bill about a rain delayed, a suspended game between the Red Sox and the Yankees in the middle of the year. The Yankees had a 5-0 lead over the Red Sox. Gossett came in. The Red Sox caught them 5-5. The game went till 1 o'clock, was suspended and played the next day, and the Red Sox beat them. The regular game that followed, Mike Torres of the Red Sox beat him again. The Yankees went out to Milwaukee in the next day and dropped a doubleheader. If ever a team was going to fold, that was the time. And I think it's to the eternal credit of these guys wearing the Yankee uniform. They're not Ruths and Mantles and DiMaggios or even Ruffings or Rashies or Reynolds. But they hung together, and here they are, Bill.
And Joe Ferguson hits one deep to left field, but it's going to hook. Foul. Ferguson jumping on Hunter's first pitch and pulling it foul down the left side. No balls and a strike. Joe's doubled and scored, and he's flied to center field. He's 1 for 2. Hunter's one-strike pitch to Ferguson. Misses inside. It's 1-1. Vic Davalillo swinging a bat in the on-deck circle for the Dodgers. Here's a 1-1. Curveball misses outside, 2 balls and a strike. The Yankees have 7 runs on 10 base hits in this ball game. The Dodgers 2 runs on just 5 against Catfish Hunter. 2-1 to Ferguson. Hit in the air, center field. Blair's after it on the run, and he cannot get to it. It's off the wall. And kicks off Blair and bounces into the stands out in center field. It'll be a ground rule double for Joel Ferguson. Paul Blair, by the way, has moved into play center field for Mickey Rivers here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. So Joe Ferguson gets his second double, and that brings out Bob Lemon. Lemon walking slowly out toward the mound.
That's the second time Big Joe, brought in to be the big hitter, came through with hot shot doubles. In the 3rd inning, he smashed one to left field and this one to dead center after just missing a home run. Well, that's the exception that proves the rule. Normally, when a batter just misses a home run, he follows it with a feeble grounder to second base or a strikeout. But this is, like I say, the time that the usual became the unusual, and Joe Ferguson followed through with a blast to center field over Blair's head. And that brings Bob Lemon to the mound, and I think it's going to bring Rich Gossage to the mound. Yep, the big right-hander who has been the Yankee relief stopper throughout the year is now trotting in towards the mound. And this was the calculated strategy. I think that the Yankees got 2 innings out of Hunter that they hadn't counted on. They hoped but hadn't counted. If he had done it for 6 and kept them in the lead or just a run behind, that was their plan. Now let's pause for a brief update from CBS News in New York.
This is Doug Poling, CBS News, reporting on the CBS Radio Network. The White House is reported to have accepted a proposed settlement of Indian claims involving the northern 2/3 of the state of Maine. Senator William Hathaway, Democrat of Maine, announced the agreement, but said Maine officials have not yet formally accepted it. Defending champion Anatoly Karpov of the Soviet Union has retained his World Chess Championship title. Victory came when challenger Viktor Korchnoi resigned from the 32nd game in the match, giving Karpov the win 6 games to 5.
On his first full day in office, Pope John Paul II went to a Rome hospital today to visit an ailing bishop, an old friend. The new pope says he wants his reign to be a labor of love. Senator Robert Dole, Republican of Kansas, said tonight he will be a candidate for president in 1980. Dole was President Ford's running mate in the 1976 presidential election. This is Doug Poling, CBS News. We now return you to tonight's World Series game in Los Angeles.
So Rich Gossage is coming in, as he has so many times during the year, to save the Yankee fat from getting into the fire. And Catfish Hunter has gone to the bench after having worked 7 innings, given up the 2 runs. Of course, Ferguson on second base will be his problem, and he's given up 6 hits. Catfish is certainly one of the blue ribbon pitchers in recent American League history, and one of the most respected of all ball players. Greeted as he went to the Yankee dugout, a big grin from Ron Guidry, who would have to take up the cudgels if the Dodgers should come back. And coming up to the plate, the wily Venezuelan, Vic Davalillo, to face Rich Gossage, who says, I don't throw to spots, I just throw.
Well, Davalillo win his sacrifice. He's bounced to third, a left-handed batter, spray hitter. And the Yankees set up for him with Blair in left center and White near the line in the left. Piniella playing straight away in right field. Pitch is swung on and missed by, got a piece of it. Bounced up against the big balloon chest protector of Joe Brinkman, the home plate umpire, bounced him back. So it's no balls and a strike on Vic Davalillo. Joe Ferguson, who doubled, is down at second base. It was Ferguson's second double of the ball game. The next pitch, low. It's 1-1 on Davalillo. Gossage won the game Saturday at Yankee Stadium. He beat Bob Welch in relief. Yankees won at 4-3. Piniella base hit. 1-1. Bounced up the middle, and it's going to go. Grabbed by Doyle. Out balance throw will not be in time. Ball looked like it might go through. Brian Doyle got the ball out behind second base, threw off balance. Davalillo runs well. He made it to first base safely, and Ferguson went to third. So an infield hit for Vic Davalillo. And the Dodgers have runners at first and third with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th. And the batter is Davy Lopes, who is homered. Single and a run. Bounce to Nettles at third base. He's 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Yankee infield back. They'll look for 2. Pitch to Lopes. Down low, ball 1. Now the Dodger crowd comes alive. Yankees have a 5-run lead playing the 8th inning. Lopes takes a strike. It's 1-1. Joe Ferguson at third base. Vic Davalillo at first, and nobody out, 8th inning. Gossage working quickly. The 1-1 pitch hit foul down the right side. Back out of play, 1-2. On deck is Bill Russell. Lopes has had a good postseason. He's driven in 12 runs in his 10 postseason games this year. The 1-2. Curveball swung on a miss. Got him. Lopes goes down swinging. Out number 1 in the 8th inning. Runner still at first and third.
And if you don't think the 55,985 are in this ball game now.
Well, Gossage had shown Lopes some fastballs and got him with a sidearm curveball.
That's unusual for him, isn't it?
He'll throw it once in a while. Here's Russell. 1 for 2. He takes a fastball low, ball 1. Russell with 11 base hits in the series. Dodger runners first and third, 1 away. 1-0 pitch to Russell. He takes 2 balls, no strikes. Russell taking all the way that time. On deck is Reggie Smith. Now Greg Nettles, the Yankee third baseman, yells something at Goose Gossage. Now the Goose sets. 2-0 pitch. Taken for a called strike. It's 2-1. Once again, Russell sort of faked the bunt and backed off. Spencer playing behind Davalillo at first base. The pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Nettles up to Doyle. There's 1 back to first. Double play. Bill Russell bouncing into a 5-4-3 double play, and the side is retired. For the Dodgers in the 8th inning, no runs, 2 base hits. They leave a man on base. And at the end of 8, it's the Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2.
Hey, coffee lovers, now Mellow Roast is going to see you through the series with the kind of full-flavored coffee taste you like. Mellow Roast blends 3 kinds of rich, robust coffees with roasted grains so that the full coffee flavor comes through smooth and delicious, but without the bitterness. So make a real hit with your home team. Stock up on plenty of good Mellow Roast today and get great coffee taste without bitterness. Cup after delicious cup. Mellow Roast coffee and grain beverage. It's available in ground and instant.
I want that sinus medicine.
Headache tablet?
No, it relieves headache and congestion, internal sinus pressure, and postnasal drip. And it has added strength.
You mean added strength sign-off?
Exactly.
Added strength sign-off tablets give you pure aspirin plus 50% more sinus drainer.
To help sinus pain while you drain.
Right, and more sinus dryer for postnasal drip.
Added strength sign-off.
The sinus medicine in the bright red box. Take when needed, only as directed.
SINDOFF. Sign-off.
Oh boy again. What can I tell you about this baseball season? Even if you've been rooting for the team that lost, it's been exciting, hasn't it? Right from those pennant races, the division races, this World Series with the magnificent play, you know, the Guidrys, the Gossages, the Garveys. Hey, there's a gal. Now, well, why should we tell you that some kook is running around the field greeting the Dodger outfielders, but we've already mentioned it, so that in passing, let it go. But that's part of the excitement of baseball, I guess, too. In New York, they come out on the field by hundreds. In Los Angeles, they come out by onesies. Okay, back to the excitement of what went on the field, and it did go on from early April, as you know. Ron Guidry, McCovey, Garvey, Gossage, Jim Rice, the pennant races. We're glad that you've been able to be a part of it, both in person, on radio, and television. It's all a part of baseball fever. Over 40 million came into the ballparks to enjoy it. And we want to enjoy, and hope that you will join us again next year. In the meantime, aren't you glad you were with it? Okay, Bill.
Paul Blair swings on the first pitch and misses. Blair went out to play center field, bottom of the 8th for the Yankees, replacing Mickey Rivers, so he's batting for the first time in this ball game. He's had a pretty good series. He's been up 7
Bill,
times,
it should
has
be
3
noted,
base hits.
A smoke bomb has been thrown out in the left center field,
and the 1-strike pitch is swung on and missed. No balls, 2 strikes. Blair's been up 7 times. He has 3 base hits. One of those 3 base hits a double. He scored 2 runs in limited action here in the series. Rao's 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Blair goes down swinging. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS Radio Network.
WCBS, New York.
So Blair strikes out, leading off against Doug Rao in the 9th inning with the Yankees up 7-2 over the Dodgers. That'll bring on Roy White. He singled, flied out, struck out, walked, and scored. Scored on Jackson's shot off Bob Welch in the 7th. Swing and a miss by White. Rao rocks and deals a 1-strike pitch, and it gets the inside corner. No balls, 2 strikes. Looking ahead for the Dodgers in the 9th inning, it'll be the heart of their batting order: Reggie Smith, Steve Garvey, and Ron Say. Their 3rd, 4th, and 5th hitters. Curveball misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dodger outfield playing White straight away. Here's a 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed. Well, maybe Doug Rao was right. 2 outs. Rao got the Yankees out 1-2-3 in the 8th. He got Spencer to foul out. Brian Doyle bounced back to him. Then on an easy bouncer to Russell. He struck out the first 2 here in the 9th inning. That'll bring on Thurman Munson. Munson 0 for 4. He struck out twice and bounced out twice. Here's Rao's first pitch. Bounce slowly toward third. Say charging. Barehand throws. Will not be in time. Base hit for Munson. And he is now hit in 15 of 16 World Series games. An infield hit for Thurman Munson. A slow chopper down third. Here's Jackson again. Say had a tough play. He had to make it barehanded and throw off balance. And Munson runs well. Beat it out for his first base hit. Jackson has bounced to short, struck out twice, and hit a 2-run home run off Bob Welch in the 7th inning to give the Yankees a little insurance. Pitch to Jackson. Curveball is fouled back. Looking over Jackson's 6 games of series have been good to him. 6th game of 1973, 77, and 78. 4 home runs, 2 doubles, a single, 9 runs batted in 6 games of series.
Well, that home run he hit kept his hitting streak alive in series games. It was his 10th straight. I think you mentioned that. And added to his RBI total.
Now Rao sets. The 1-strike pitch. Check swing. Bounce. Just foul outside third base. Say had been playing Jackson over in the hole near shortstop. Gave Jackson a lot of the third baseline. That pitch was inside. Reggie tried to check a swing. The ball hit the bat and just missed going over the bag at third base.
I see Reggie's grinning. He did say something to Rao, I thought perhaps in anger, because twice before in this series, that same kind of pitch has hit him on the right shoulder.
Well, there are 2 strikes on Jackson with 2 down. Munson moving off first base. Garvey behind him. Fastball, and Jackson goes down. Did it hit him? Must have hit him. Jackson starts toward first base, and Brinkman now calls him back. Jackson said the ball hit him on the wrist. He threw the bat away. In fact, he threw it away a long way and started toward first base.
Jackson evidently felt that it hit him, but the umpire is saying, I gather, no, Joe Brinkman won't let him go to first base. There was a confrontation and some words. And to be absolutely impartial, I presume, is impossible, but that's 2 straight pitches that went within an inch of his chin.
Well, it's 1 and 2. Don Drysdale had a nice article in the paper here about how the old-timers reacted to brushbacks and knockdowns. Drysdale was not at all bashful on the mound, I know. Here's a 1-2. Curveball is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jackson.
I presume a professional has the right to his feelings about the game that he's playing, but I have the feeling when this game goes and is watched by kids who play the game, that this is not the way to play the game, and I don't agree with Don.
Here's a 1-2. Curveball is fouled back. Well, as one who has been hit by Don, I don't mind it too much.
Well, I don't mean that. How would you like it, though?
You have to get out of the way.
How do you like it if your 7-year-old child is standing up there in the little league and the kid pitching thinks this is the way to play the game?
Well, I'm sure those 7-year-olds are taught the proper way to play it, but once they start getting paid for it, it's a little bit different.
The difference is, Bill,
money.
These guys are playing for pay, but it's going into amateur-type houses.
Swing and a miss by Jackson. He goes down swinging, Doug. Rouse strikes out the side here in the 9th inning. We're going to the bottom half of the 9th inning to score. The Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2.
Whatever your occupation, here's something you should know about financing a new car or truck. If you're a teacher, farmer, or have any occupation with an unusual or seasonal pay schedule, you could encounter some problems when it comes to financing. And that's a very good reason to consider us. We're Ford Credit, and we give special consideration to people with unusual pay schedules. In fact, our programs can help your dealer try to work out a payment plan tailored just for you on a a Ford, Mercury, or Lincoln car, Ford truck, tractor, or recreational vehicle. Ford Credit. We're as close as your neighborhood Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer. Remember, when you're buying or leasing a new car or truck, Ford Credit wants to give you credit for being you. Tell your Ford or Lincoln Mercury dealer you'd like to finance with us. Ford Motor Credit.
Looks like the season is a half inning away from being over, and Gary Thomason is going to play that last half of the ninth inning in left field for the New York Yankees, who seem on the edge of their second successive World Championship of the same scoring games against the same team, 4-2, and they break the habit of the home team winning every game. That is, if indeed they hold off the Dodgers in this last half of the ninth. They lead at 7-2, and the magic for the Yankees is the 7-11 magic. 7 runs and 11 hits. The Dodgers have gotten 7 hits, but only 2 runs. Catfish Venerable Hunter. He's not that old. He's 32, but he's been around as a pitcher long enough to be venerable. Probably pitched more games than anybody active in the game today. And we have Johnston out in the right field for the Yankees now, as manager Bob Lemon is giving everybody a chance to get a taste of play in this, what likely is the last half inning of the 1978 baseball season. Okay, Bill.
All right, Win. Reggie Smith will lead off against Goose Gossage here in the ninth inning. The Yankees lead 7-2. A new Yankee outfield. Gary Thomason, Paul Blair, and J. John Stone. Gossage throws the first pitch, and Smith hits it deep to left field. Backing up in the middle of the warning track is Gary Thomason. He makes a catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring on Steve Garvey, who was struck out, bounced out, and flied out. Garvey's 0 for 3. 1 out, nobody on here in the ninth inning. The Yankees 2 out away from their second straight World Championship. It would be overall their 22nd. Not too bad.
Nobody's ever done any better.
Outfield playing straight away for Garvey. Pitch is swung on, drilled to right field, slicing foul, back in the seats.
You know, Bill, in all professional sports, there are certain organizations, I presume from the management on down, because it has to start with management, who've just been heads and shoulders above everybody else. The Yankees in baseball, the Montreal Canadiens in hockey, that brilliant run by the Boston Celtics in basketball.
Swing and a miss by Garvey, no balls, 2 strikes.
And even John Wooden out here with his UCLA NCAA championships in basketball. There's got to be a reason.
Here's a 2-strike pitch to Garvey. Breaking ball is fouled back. Still no balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. The Yankees ahead, 7-2. They lead in games 3-2 in this series. And a win here, of course, that's all over. 2-strike pitch. Fouled back again by Garvey. Count remains no balls, 2 strikes. On deck is Ron Say.
Bill, being beaten twice in a World Series in a row, what does this do to the spirit of an organization or a team?
Nothing. They just go back to the planning board over the winter and make the moves they think they have to move.
That's what I thought you'd say.
I agree. Tight. Garvey backs off.
I agree. This club will be back.
They've got 3 or 4 or 5 guys who have not signed. Tommy John is one of them. So they're going to have to make some decisions. Manny Mota's another one. Very important during the series, Mota. Garvey, called strike 3. Cotton looking fastball knee-high on the outside corner. 2 outs. Now Gossage 1 out away from making the Yankees the 1978 world champs of all baseball. Here's Ron Say, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Flied to left, popped to short, single to left. Gossage came up with a fastball to Garvey, backed him off, then got him with a fastball low and away. Here's the first pitch to Say. Breaking ball is a called strike. Now Say backs out. He'll get back in. The Goose looks for a sign. Gets it. Rocks and deals. Fastball is up and in. It's 1-1. Say had to spin down. Might have hurt his right knee. He's looking at that right knee. Dust dusts it off, flexes it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Say. 2 outs, nobody on. 9th inning. The Yankees ahead 7-2. The 1-1 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and a strike. On deck is Dusty Baker. Ball bounced away from Munson. He retrieves it and gives it back to Gossage. Now Say gets back in. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Called strike 2. A slider gets the outside corner. It's 2-2. And once again, Say backs off. Now the Dodgers go out just a bit quiet here. Here's a 2-2. Fouled back. That's out of play over the Yankee dugout off the right side. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ron Say. 2 outs, nobody on. It's 7-2 Yankees in the 9th inning.
And before the last pitch, a word for a self-effacing, unassuming, great pitcher by the name of Ron Guidry in the Yankee scheme of things.
2-2 pitch, popped up behind the plate, coming back Munson. Throws the mask away, he's there. It's all over. It's all over. The Yankees charge on the field. They mob Goose Gossage. The Yankees have won their 2nd straight World Championship. Final score here tonight at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 2.
At Kinney, we couldn't improve on our boots, so we improved on our price. Now through October 23rd, up to $5 off on boots to go at the Great American Shoe Store.
I'd like a pair of the 14-inch snoot boots to take out, please.
Certainly, sir. Now, would you like that with a little zip on the side?
A zip, yeah.
A big selection of boots to go at Kinney, all current and up to $5 off. Boots for every member of the family.
Tell you what.
What?
Give me 1 snoot, the padded lining,
okay,
and 1 horse boot. And hold the stitching on that, could you?
You got it, partner. We couldn't improve our boots, so we improved our price, up to $5 off. But remember, now through October 23rd only.
I'd like 1 tan heel with strap, and 1 brick wedge, please.
Yes.
And maybe for my young daughter, the whip
stitch boot special.
How did you know?
Well, boots to go at Kinney. Fast and friendly service. Step up to Kinney and place your order now. And really step out in boots to go. From Kinney, the Great American Shoe Store.
Here's Barsman and McCormick for Quantel Business Computers.
Well, once again, we're talking with another successful businessman. Sir, tell us about your business.
I am the undisputed king of do-it-yourself kits.
Do-it-yourself kits?
That's right. Do-it-yourself bridge building, do-it-yourself buffalo breeding.
Most interesting. Well, you're obviously very successful. To what do you attribute that success?
My Quantel Business Computer.
Your Quantel Business Computer?
Must be an echo in here.
Yes. What does a Quantel Business Computer have to do with your success?
I can do it myself.
Do what yourself?
I can program it myself. For example, if I need a report on the costs of sales for my do-it-yourself brain surgery kit, I just punch a few buttons, fill in a few blanks, and voila.
Voila?
It's French for Eureka, which is Greek for saxophone.
I see. Well, tell me, how are your brain surgery kits going?
Well, so far, nobody's come back to complain.
For Quantel information, call toll-free 800-227-1894. In California, call 415-783-3410. Collect.
The Yankees win the game 7-2. They win the series 4-2. Hunter the winner, Sutton the loser. From the standpoint of statistics in the series, Bucky Dent with 10 hits at 24 at-bats and 7 RBIs was the topper, 417. Reggie 9 out of 23, 8 knocked in, 391. And we've been asked to consider who would be the winner of the MVP award, the Major League Baseball and Sports Magazine's World Series Most Valuable Player Award for 1978. Well, it was the guy who put the Yankees in the series by hitting the ball into the screen in Fenway Park, then ended up the least likely to do it, I presume, the most unnoticed player on the field. But it was Bucky Dent with his 10 out of 24 and 7 RBIs. The MVP was selected by a panel consisting of the series' 3 official scorers, 1 representative each from the Associated Press, the United Press International, NBC TV, CBS Radio, plus the editor and managing editor of Sport. And if you want to know how Bill and I voted, the decision was unanimous, meaning everybody I talked about went for little Bucky. So what a year for him. Congratulations, Bucky. We'll continue our wrap-up in just a moment.
Jackie Stewart, winner of more Formula One Grand Prix automobile races than any driver in history.
Formula One racing can be incredibly expensive. Even tires and fuel don't come cheaply. Of course, in racing, the price of fuel is not much of a consideration. But when you're driving down the highway in a car that doesn't deliver such terrific gas mileage, and you've got to use premium gasoline in that car, well, then the price of gasoline should be a consideration. Paying premium prices for premium gasoline is not something I'd care to do. Not when there's a premium that sells for less than most other major premiums. Getty Premium. Getty offers quality premium gasoline without the premium price. That means you can get the power your car demands and pay less for it. So remember, when you fill up next time, fill up with Getty Premium. The premium that gives you more miles for your money.
WCBS, New York.
John Lowe has been our statistician. Steve Kelly and Ted Rowe have been our engineers. And there you have it. The Yankees have taken the series, 7-2 the game, 4-2 the score. And we'll return with our post-game activities. Jerry Coleman is taking a bath down there, I think. So this is Win Elliott.
And Bill White.
And this has been CBS Radio Sports.
Someday you'll own. Someday you'll own. Sooner or later, you'll own General's.
For 60 years, General Tire has been one of the nation's leading tire manufacturers. But General Tire means more than tires. Our one-stop car care centers are staffed by experts who know how to take care of your car, whether it's wheel alignment, wheel balance, lube and oil change, muffler, shock absorbers, brake, or batteries. You get fast, dependable service using name brand parts and materials. Your car gets a free 7-point safety check, too. And best of all, it's priced right. For tires and service, check your yellow pages for the General Tire headquarters nearest you.
Sooner or later, you'll own General's. Sooner or later, you'll own General's.
WCBS, New York.
From the bedlam of Yankee Stadium, it is wild out here. We got owner George Steinbrenner for our CBS Radio network. You got to be a happy guy, even if you're a wet owner.
Oh, thank you. I'll tell you, I've never been so happy. These guys battled back time and time again this year. Everybody counted them out when we came back from here. They counted us out when we had to go to Boston. And they're worthy of New York. New York's a city of battlers, and this is the greatest bunch of athletes. And I've been connected with a lot of them that I think I've ever seen as far as battling back after their backs are to the wall. They just are unreal. I don't think there's ever been a team in pro sports that has overcome as much as this Yankee team. And I don't care how they talk about the 27 Yankees or the 58 Yankees. This is the greatest Yankee team there's ever been.
22 wins out of 32 shots, and you got to do it again next year.
Be there next year.
Hey, Paul Blair is going. Al Rosen, come on over here. The president of the Yankees. Al, super, I know. You're out of it. 14 games, and here you are.
This ball club showed all the character in the world. You know that because you played on clubs that did the same thing. They were fantastic. Fantastic.
The thing that amazes me is the fact that they stayed alive in July when they were dead.
Well, you've seen clubs that had great professionals on it. We had Thurman, and I just can't go down the list. Nettles and all that, Piniella, and they just... once they got healthy, they just got to moving. Every game was a World Series game to them, and they never gave up. They were never out of a ball game, and they prevailed, and it's fantastic.
Well, Al Rosen, a great star in his own right. Congratulations. We got you to New York as a winner.
That's right. Thanks, Jerry.
And the chaos continues here. We'll try to grab somebody if we can. Bedlam reigns in the Yankee clubhouse. Champagne is spraying all over the place. The idea at the moment is to stay dry. That's the biggest thing we can do. Where is Bucky Dent? Have we got him in the area or the arena? He started... Hey, Dick Tidrow, come on over here. Talk to me a little bit. Here's a guy who came out of the bullpen and did some job. to help the Yankees go 4 in a row. That's got to surprise even you, Dick. I know you guys were optimistic all through it, but 4 in a row after being down 0-2 is amazing.
Well, we felt like we could come back, and we were trying to come back in the games we lost, and I think that was the big point to us, that we were capable of coming back, and as it turned out, they weren't.
In the swing, when did you feel you had it?
Well, I thought the 4th game was very important. Down 3-0 late in the game with their best pitcher, I think, pitching, coming back and winning that one was the big one.
You're not surprised about anything then, are you?
Not after that game, I was.
You get a team like this, it's all put together. Do you ever think about next year so early?
No. Right now, this is the moment.
Here, Jim Spencer coming in. Jim, super job. The California Angels, by way of Texas, now a Yankee, a super job. Outstanding.
It's been a great year. I never thought I'd see it happen. We came from behind so many times this year, and I've waited so long to be on a championship ball club. Thank you. I didn't play much this year, and I knew I wouldn't when I came to the Yankees, but I was willing to pay that price to be a part of this ball club. It's just fantastic. It should happen to every ball player once in his life.
Jim, you stood around, as you said, most of the year. Suddenly, the last couple of games, you're in there. You got a chance to perform. You got to be scared to death, really.
Well, it wasn't, I tried to take the attitude it's just another ball game, and after the first couple innings, I felt okay, and I think that's the approach you had to take. I knew I wasn't going to have any timing at the plate because since the middle of June, I'd only had 60 at-bats. So, I just had to go out and try to swing and hope for the best. But I knew I could do the job defensively no matter how long it had been since I've been out there. So I'm real happy.
Jim Spencer, good luck to you. Congratulations. Save your money.
Okay, thank you.
And now Lou Piniella, the guy who still has a chin after knocking over the right field wall. Lou, how hard were you down? You went down into a heap. We thought you were out the way you went into it. It was chin first, not feet first.
Yeah, I hit it pretty good, Jerry, but during the World Series, you really don't feel the pain too much. I should have caught the ball. That's the bad thing about it. I lost the ball a little bit in the twilight, and I picked up the ball as I got to the warning track, put my hand up, and at the same time, I hit the wall, but feels great to win 2 years in a row, believe me.
After getting shellacked 0-4 that first time around.
Well, that's right. I was there, too, when Cincinnati handed it to us pretty badly. And last year we played the Dodgers and beat them in 6, and again in 6 this time. And the second time around, believe me, is the best, because now you prove that you are world champions, and last year was no accident.
Lou, thank you so much. Good luck to you. Keep going.
Thank you, Jerry.
And now Roy White, a guy who has seen it all. Roy, you were there during the lean years. I recall when you came up. The Yankees were on the way down. You've seen them come all the way back. You're the oldest veteran in point of service with the ball club. It's been a long uphill grind.
Yes, it was, Jerry. Just been a very remarkable season. I think everybody on this club will look back on it and really feel something special for a team to come back like we did, and it's really something historical that we did this year in baseball.
Roy, you gotta tell me the truth now. There had to be a time when you said we'll never make it. Boston looked unbeatable.
Well, being realistic, when we were 14 back, we thought, well, we just have to keep going out there and playing as hard as we can. And if they slip up a little bit, and we can get a little bit close, then we might have a shot at it, because we knew that we had 7 or 8 games left with Boston, and they started losing a few, and the gap started closing down a little bit, and then we could really see that we had a shot at them. But at one time, it did look pretty bleak for us.
Roy, one thing, the change in managers turned your year around. When Martin went, Lemon came in, Roy White got to play.
Yeah, I saw some more action under Bob Lemon. He used me a lot more, and a couple of other players got a chance to play a little bit more too, such as Ed Figueroa getting the pitch every 4 days, and Jim Beattie getting the chance to go out there and start every 4 days. And I'm happy that I had that opportunity to get in there this year.
Well, Roy White won a pennant right here and a world championship in the town he came from. Roy, congratulations. Much good luck in the years to come. Hope you keep rolling.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Nice to have you with us. You went through the lean years. A lot of them did not. Well, it's been rather a boisterous clubhouse. Things are still going along here. It's hard to move. We're elbow to elbow. And we're going to be back with more details on this game right after this message.
In In 1969, Jackie Stewart won his first World Racing Drivers' Championship. He repeated in 1971, then again in 1973. What Jackie Stewart doesn't know about cars hasn't been written.
I do know that cars just don't perform the way they used to. One of the reasons is the unleaded gasoline that the new engines call for. Unfortunately, most unleadeds don't have the power that gasolines used to have. Well, Getty Unleaded Regular does. It delivers the kind of power you got from gasoline before they took the lead out. Getty Unleaded Regular actually delivers more power than most other major unleadeds. As an ex-racing driver, that appeals to me. And while Getty Unleaded Regular delivers more power, it costs less than most other major unleadeds. I don't know how Getty does it, but as a Scotsman, that really appeals to me.
Getty Unleaded Regular. More power for less money.
Well, we're in the wettest clubhouse in the United States. The 7-2 victor, New York Yankees, walking off with their second World Championship in a row. On top of that, 22 out of 32. Paul Blair is with us. He won with Baltimore. He's won with New York. Paul, you were the guy that came off the bench. You did your job when you had to do it, but how about tonight? You were surprised the way things turned out?
Well, a little. I didn't think we'd have it that easy. I really thought that we were going to really have to battle and really struggle. I thought it was going to be a one-run game. But when we got up the 5-2 lead, then I thought, sure, we had it. And then when Reggie hit the ball out of the ballpark, I knew we were in. I got all the admiration in the world for the Dodgers, but this year we just were not going to beat tonight, and that's all it is to it.
You beat them 4 in a row. That's incredible.
Well, this club is incredible. We've been coming back all year. We were down 2-0, and we came storming back. This is just what we've been doing all year. You just have all the admiration and respect in the world for this ball club, and I'm proud to be a member of this club.
Paul Blair, congratulations, and save your money. I tell you, there's going to be a lot of it, the winner's share. Gary Thomason started in San Francisco. He went somewhere, Oakland, I think, ended up in New York. You had a long, exciting year, Gary.
I did. I was full of exciting changes, but it ended on a beautiful note.
All right, you went from a club, the Giants, that looked like they had a pretty good team, to the club everybody was laughing at, the Oakland A's, to the world champion New York Yankees. But when you got there, they weren't headed for the championship.
No, as a matter of fact, we were kind of in a tailspin and having a hard time getting on the right track. But around July, we started getting things together, and the club started playing ball, and a lot of the guys in the club would tell me this is a second-half club, and they never gave up. And you got to give everybody the credit on this club that they just never gave up to come from so far behind to win the world championship like this. It's just the greatest feeling.
6 out of 7 against the Boston Red Sox turned your year around.
Absolutely. We were fortunate to catch Boston at a time when they weren't playing as well as they could be, and they had a lot of key injuries. And it was an action-packed series, and we just went in, and I don't think any team in the world could have beat us for those 4 games.
How about Jay Johnstone? Now, what was his contribution? Jay, nice to have you with us, old buddy, and congratulations. A world championship team, the whole works.
You're kidding. We didn't win the series, did we? Where was I?
You were asleep.
You're pulling my leg. Come on, Jerry. We didn't. Did we win today?
Come on. How about some of those emotions? There's Jim Beattie over here. He knows what happened.
What? Jim came through. Jim came through for us and pitched one heck of a game when we really needed it. Okay, we had to win that game, and there goes my head, huh?
Trickles on your head.
He pitched a game that a lot of people thought that Lemon should have maybe pitched him on Saturday instead of Sunday, and he came through when we were at a 2-2 tie. We knew we were coming back to Dodger Stadium. He pitched one heck of a game for us, and I think that from when I got here, we were 14.5 games down, and to watch these guys battle back, you know, when I first got here, I looked at the guys playing out there, and I said, this can't be the Yankees team that won the World Champions last year. You know, everyone was hurt, and everybody's playing terrible, nobody's hitting, and then all of a sudden, they started battling back, and like you said, we won 6 out of 7 from Boston, which was really we've won actually 3 series. We won the Boston series, we won the playoffs, we won the Boston series, we won that extra 163rd game, and we beat Kansas City, and now we come here, we beat the Dodgers for the World Series. So it's, you might say we've had 4 World Series almost in 1 year.
Jim Beattie, what a year it's been for you. There was a time you wanted to throw it in, you turn around, instead of going back to Dartmouth, you're on a World Championship ball club, and one of the key wins, that big game.
Well, you know, this season, I think for me, is even similar to the season for the team. You know, I had my downs right at the beginning of the season. I was 2-7, and I lost 7 in a row. And I started to pitch a little bit better at the end of the season. The team's starting to play a little bit better, and finally we're back into the race again. We come from 14 down to win the league and have a tough playoff with Boston. Then we have the same thing, and the only team in baseball history to ever come from 14 behind. This series is the epitome of our season right there.
All right, what did the win do for you against the Dodgers for next year? That's got to give you a mountain of confidence.
Well, I felt, the way I'd been pitching the last month, I felt good about myself, as far as the confidence-wise. I had one game against Cleveland during that last stretch where we had to win, and I had that game against Kansas City, first game against Kansas City. I had to go out and prove myself there, and I had to do the same thing in the World Series. It's just a matter of proving myself every time I went out to show that people that I was a quality pitcher, and that's the way it's been for me this last part, and that's the way it's been for the team. The Dodgers felt that they shouldn't lose this series at all, and we go out and we're putting together a team that's not even at full strength without Willie Randolph and without Chris Chambliss. I don't think those guys could have been where they were if they had lost the same two caliber ball players.
All right, tell me right now, it's all over. How bad was Munson's arm?
Well, Thurman had been having trouble with his shoulder, and I think I gave him the game that I pitched where Lopes stole without him even throwing. I think Thurman realized that he shouldn't even waste a good throw on a player like Lopes. Lopes, I think, is the only, one of the Dodgers, the few Dodgers that really hurt us consistently. He stole bases, he scored, and he really was getting base hits in crucial situations. But Thurman realized, he had only a few throws per each game, and that's what he did. When it counted, he got the guys out.
Jim Beattie, thank you so much. Good luck in '79 and for the many, many years ahead of a great career starting to bud. Well, that's pretty much it, fans. The Yankees are the 1978 World Champions, taking on and defeating the Dodgers in this game 7-2. They won 4 in a row after losing the first 2. This broadcast has been sponsored by the Brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers, by Western Union, by Quantel Business Computers, the Common Sense Business Tool, by the Ford Motor Credit Company, the people who want to give you credit for being you, and by the A.B. Dick Company, makers of the 990. For Bill White, Win Elliott, our statistician, John Lowe, our engineers, Steve Coley and Ted Rhodes, our producer, Scott Kiner, and Frank Miller, our executive producer. For CBS Radio Sports, I'm Jerry Coleman from the Yankee locker room here at Dodger Stadium, saying so long for CBS Radio Sports.
And you heard the World Series on WCBS in New York. I'm Robert Vaughn. This is News 88, and these are headline stories at 11:33. As you heard, the New York Yankees have retained their World Championship, beating the Dodgers tonight 7-2. In other news, the exchange of mail between this country and Canada has been halted because of a Canadian postal workers' strike. 17 Camden teachers have been sent to jail for ignoring a back-to-work order. The New Jersey Supreme Court has overturned Fort Lee's ordinance, which places a 2.5% limit on rent hikes. A New York City policeman has been exonerated of the murder last Thanksgiving of a Westchester County restaurant owner. Roger Karras will be along talking about Jaguars. We'll hear from dining critic Anthony Dias-Blue looking at the restaurant in Bloomingdale's. Bucky Dent and Brian Doyle combined for 6 hits and 5 runs batted in, and Reggie Jackson added a monstrous homer as the Yankees defeated the Dodgers 7-2 to claim their 22nd World Championship. As you heard just a minute ago, Catfish Hunter scattered 6 base hits through 7 innings to pick up the victory. The Yankees bullpen ace Rich Gossage replaced Hunter after Joe Ferguson's leadoff double in the 8th and held the Dodgers in check on 1 hit the rest of the way. The Yankees captured their 2nd consecutive World Series after losing the first 2 games in L.A., and thus they became the first team in World Series history to win the Classic in 6 games after losing the opening 2. The Yanks will be coming home tomorrow, and then there will be that big New York City Manhattan ticker tape parade on Thursday, and tonight we'll be talking with many Yankees fans in the metropolitan New York area, so be with us. WCBS News Time 26 till 12 o'clock. The Postal Service said.
Davy Lopes, a one-man crusade, offered the first rebuttals.
The next pitch hit deep to left. Right is going back. That ball is gone. Davy Lopes has jumped at his 3rd home run of the series. And the Dodgers lead 1-0.
Until the New York 2nd, when Nettles slapped a single to right, Spencer walked, and
here's a 1-2 to Doyle. Curveball loop to left center. After it is Baker, and he will not get to it. Past him. Around third base, Nettles will score, and they'll hold Spencer at third base. We've got a tie ball game.
Until the other half of the Keystone Cops comes up, Bucky Dent.
Breaking ball hit back up the middle, and through base hit. Spencer scores. Doyle around third base. The throw will not be in time. He'll score. Ball gets past the catcher, Joe Ferguson, and now Doyle will go on to second base. And the Yankees now lead 3-1.
Until the Dodger third, Ferguson doubled, is sacrificed over, and Davey Lopes again.
On a rocks and deals a 1-1 pitch. Swung on, base hit up the middle. Ferguson scores easy. Yankees now lead 3-2.
And that's about as close as the Dodgers could come. The Yankees added 2 more in the 6th. Piniella singled, Doyle singled, Dent singled. In between, though, a wild pitch and an error, so 5-2 until rookie Bob Welsh faced Reggie Jackson in the Yankees 7th. Remember the 9th inning of Game 2 when the youngster struck out the veteran?
Swung on deep to right field. That ball is gone. No doubt about that one. That's back in the Yankee bullpen. Yankees score 2 more runs on a long home run by Reggie Jackson, and they now lead by a score of 7-2.
And as you heard Bill White call it at the top of the show on CBS Radio tonight, that's the way it wound up. The Yankees winning 4 in a row after dropping the first 2 to the Dodgers. Then in the New York locker room, while the champagne was still flowing, our Biff Elliott, the brother of you-know-who, talked to Yankee owner George Steinbrenner.
I'm very happy. They were fabulous. You couldn't be happier. This club was 14 down. Did you really have faith? I knew we'd get close. I didn't think we could catch them, to be honest, but they did everything we were asking of. You couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. I don't think any ball club in the history of baseball has ever done what this club did. How about when you went back to New York and you were 2 down? Well, you know, as I say, nobody's ever done what this club did. They didn't quit in Boston. They didn't quit in Kansas City. They didn't quit here. They're just unreal.
Just ask the Dodgers. So, Jim Catfish Hunter got his wish. He can now go hunting an extra day ahead. Don Sutton, he can keep on doing game shows. Tommy Lasorda, well, he can tell Tom Snyder just how the Dodger blue is now black and blue, having been swept 4 in a row by the New York Yankees. And the New Yorkers, well, the Pinstripers come back to New York City to a ticker tape parade. Their 2nd in a row, their 2nd straight World Series championship over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Again, the final, the Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2 tonight. New York has swept 4 in a row after losing the first 2 out in Dodger Stadium. Till next time, that's Sports Time. I'm Jim Kelly, CBS Radio Network.
16 minutes past 12 o'clock midnight on WCBS Newsradio, and it's a big night in New York in many Manhattan bars. The scene tonight was predictably tumultuous. John Newspaper is the bartender at Gleason's Bar on York Avenue.
We got about 50, 60 people here, I guess. They all went kind of crazy. A little bit of a wild scene. Well, everybody's trying to figure out why Reggie Jackson had a ham sandwich in a clubhouse instead of drinking champagne.
Well, not everybody felt like drinking champagne. However, Jerry Spinelli, he's the bartender over at P.J. Clark's, he says he lost money during the series because while the games were going on, nobody was drinking.
I'm a New Yorker, but the bar out here, you can't even walk. There's got to be 10 people deep from door to door. But everybody's just standing watching the baseball game. It's great for the Yankees, great for New York, but not great for me.
Spinelli says he's not much of a baseball fan. It's clear in Midtown Manhattan, 46 degrees, 8 on the Celsius scale. The humidity is 49%. The winds are light and variable. The barometer now reads 30.44. The forecast calls for clear skies, near-record cold temperatures, and widespread frost overnight. We'll have lows in the city in the middle 30s. Later today, it'll be mostly sunny. We'll have moderating temperatures by this afternoon and highs 54 to 59 degrees. Thursday, variable cloudiness, perhaps a few showers. Highs Thursday, 60 to 65 degrees. Right now, it's clear, 46 in Midtown. Good morning, I'm Bob Glenn, and here are some stories that we're following for you on News Radio 88. New York City police officer Thomas Fleming has been acquitted of charges that he attempted to murder a Hartsdale, New York restaurant owner last Thanksgiving. But the jury of 10 men and 2 women did find Fleming guilty on 2 counts of assault in the 2nd degree and criminal possession of a weapon. The jury deliberated less than 10 hours before reaching the verdict in Westchester County Court. The 33-year-old Fleming faces up to 7 years in prison when he is sentenced on November the 8th. The police officer, decorated 6 times for valor, had claimed that restaurant owner Benedetto Catarani was accidentally shot when he drunkenly grabbed for the officer's revolver last November 24th. Punk rock star Sid Vicious, who's accused of the hunting knife murder of his girlfriend, is free on $50,000 bail. He's trying to line up some concerts to help pay for his defense. Vicious, whose real name is John Ritchie, was continued free on bail by Judge Leon Becker during a brief appearance in Manhattan Criminal Court. He was ordered to appear for another hearing on October the 30th. The winning number drawn to yesterday in the New Jersey Picket Lottery was 095095. Straight payoff, $322.50. The box bet paid $53.50, and the front and back pair each returned $32. The winning combination drawn last night in the Connecticut Daily Numbers Lottery game was 697. 697. New York City Police report Consolidated Edison crews are going to be working in the right lane on the southbound side of the East River Drive at 100th to 110th Streets between 10 o'clock in the morning tomorrow and 3 p.m. That's the southbound side of the East River Drive at 100th and 110th Streets between the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. today, which is Wednesday. WCBS News Time is 19 minutes past 12 o'clock, and we're going to wrap up all the racing action at Roosevelt with Jack Lee in just a moment. Inflation. Do you know what the smartest men are doing about inflation? They're turning to Harry Rothman, the famous men's discount store on 5th Avenue at 18th Street. Rothman can't cut the cost of your steak dinner or your theater tickets, but he can cut your cost of fine fashion right clothing. Saving you from 25 to 40% on fine fashion right clothing is what Rothman is famous for. Savings like these: custom quality 3-piece, hand-tailored worsted suits featured at fine stores at $205. Rothman's price only $142.50. Sport jackets, hand-tailored to the finest English fabrics, nationally advertised at $185. Rothman's price only $99.50. Irish Donegal tweed overcoats, nationally featured at $175. Rothman's price just $89.95. So don't let inflation get you down. Put your clothing dollars where they'll do the most good. Remember, nobody, but nobody, gives you greater clothing value than Harry Rothman. Now let's find out how they finished and what they paid at Roosevelt Raceway last night. Here to tell us, track announcer Jack Lee.
First race winner was 1A Last the Irish, driven by Tommy Foster, 33 even, 1460 and 640. 5E Bly Street was second, 624.40. 3C Moreland Lane was third, 360 for show. Second race winner was 4D Saratoga Scotty, driven by Carmine Apatello, 420, 4 even, and 280. 1A Drag Line was second, 8 even and 320. 2B True Sailor was third, $3 for show. Tuesday night's daily double combination 1 and 4, A and D, $116 even. That was the lowest daily double payoff on the board. Third race big triple winner 2B Mighty Shadow for Joe Marsh Jr., 940, 620, 320. 1A Samson Osborne was second, 840, 560. 7G Shyaway Gale was third, 360. Third race big triple 2, 1 and 7, B, A, and G, $504 even. The $6 box triple returned $168 even. A late scratch in the third race big triple was 4D Reflected Glory. Fourth race winner was 2B CB's Frank, driven by George Phelan, 11 even, 3 even, and 380. Those prices are okay. 1A Fortuna Cash was second, 240 for place, 280 for show. Those prices are okay. 4D Out of Luck was third, 360. Fourth race Exacta 2 and 1 B and A, $45.20. Fifth race winner was 4D Nick Nar, handled by Jerry Persino, 840, 480, 280. 5E Miss Mike's Lady was second, 4 even and 360. 2B Steady Josie was third, 380. Fifth race Exacta 4 and 5 D&E, $28.20. Sixth race big triple winner 1A Glen Patch, handled by Henri Fillon, 540, 340, and 280. 5E Ben Dixie was second, 6 even, 5 even. 4D Golden Money Boy was third, 280 for show. 6 race big triple 1, 5, and 4, A, E, and D, $283.50. The $6 box triple, $94.50. Seventh race winner 1A Patriot Lobel, driven by world champion Hervé Fillon, 940, 440, 280. 4D Inspection was second, 380, 340. 6F Sweet Jamboree was third, 620 for show. Eighth race winner was 5E Morristown, driven by Carmine Apatello, the Red Man's second victory of the evening. Morristown 460, 320, 260. 3C Pud's Chip was second, 860, 440. 7G Prize Almahurst was third, $3 for show. Eighth race exacta 5 and 3, E and C, $32.40. Ninth race winner was 4D Earthlight, driven by Luke Keith. 1020, 520, 360. 1A Ombro Rambler was second, 383 even. 3C Gentle Streak was third, 720. Ninth race exacta 4 and 1 DNA, $37.20. 10th race big triple winner 4D Heritage Maxine, driven by Réjean Dagneau, 360, 280, 260. 8H Bret Hart was second, 6 even and 460. 1A HR80 was third, 340. 10th race big triple 4, 8 and 1 DH and A, $241.50. The $6 box triple $80.50. That's a complete recap of Tuesday night's results from Roosevelt Raceway, where the fall meeting continues now through December 11th. This is Jack Lee.
Jack is employed by Roosevelt Raceway. It seems highly unlikely, but in the event you didn't know it, the New York Yankees have won their second consecutive World Series championship, and for the second year in a row, they did it by beating the Los Angeles Dodgers in L.A. 6 games. The Yanks ending the series with a 7-2 victory over the Dodgers in L.A. last night. They became the first World Series team to win 4 games in a row after losing the first 2. The Yankees had unexpected hitting heroes in their series-clinching triumph. The last 2 men in their batting order, Brian Doyle and Bucky Dent. As a matter of fact, shortstop Bucky Dent has been voted the most valuable player of this year's World Series. We'll have more details on last night's World Series win by the Yankees throughout the morning right here on WCBS Newsradio. A report from Washington claims alcohol abuse is a problem for an estimated 10 million adult Americans. The report also blames alcohol consumption for some cancerous afflictions as well. HEW Secretary Joseph Califano, whose office released that study, was in Newark to kick off an anti-smoking campaign. John Matthew reports.
Califano rolled off a series of unpleasant statistics telling the morbid story of cancer in New Jersey. He said he was pleased with the total commitment in the battle against cancer at all levels of government in the Garden State. HEW has committed $100,000 in new money to the Garden State to fund an ambitious anti-smoking campaign as part of the new overall effort to combat cancer. In announcing the grant, Califano pointed to the difficult problem in heading off smoking among youth.
There are 100,000 children in this country, 13 years and younger, who are smoking a pack of cigarettes or more per day. 4,000 teenagers and sub-teenagers become regular pack-a-day smokers every day in this country.
New Jersey will also be getting $360,000 in new federal money to help fund the governor's cabinet committee on cancer control, plus $930,000 to set up a cervical cancer screening program designed to reach 7 times the number of women now receiving the test. In Newark, I'm John Matthew.
Fort Lee, New Jersey will be getting a new standard for rent increases. The state Supreme Court has overturned its limit of 2.5%, calling it confiscatory. The attorney who argued the case for Fort Lee, William Riley, says the High Court let the ceiling stand for the first few years of its existence, but the decision cuts it off after that time.
The court says that the 2.5% ceiling is in effect through December 31st, 1976. Thereafter, the Consumer Price Index is the ceiling for automatic rent increases up to 30 days from today, at which time a formula called the maximum allowable pass-through, which is based on weighted percentages of the Consumer Price Index, comes into effect. That was pursuant to an ordinance which was passed in 1976, but had a delayed effective date.
Riley says he thinks the case may serve as a guide to other New Jersey communities enacting rent controls. The president of the Fort Lee Tenants Association says the court's decision was a victory for both sides. Matthew Shapiro says the increased ceiling may have been removed, but it remains humane.
In terms of the ability of municipalities in Fort Lee, in New Jersey, to create rent legislation to their own requirements, be it 2.5% or no rent increase at all, it is totally upholding of that right of the municipality to enact any formula it wants, as long as it provides a hardship relief to landlords where the formula is too strict.
Shapiro also says many tenants may be entitled to rebates from landlords who collected pass-along taxes and placed them in escrow beginning in 1974. New York City police report that Consolidated Edison crews are going to be working in the right lane on the southbound side of the East River Drive at 100th and 110th Streets today between the hours of 10 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. That's Consolidated Edison working on the right lane of the southbound side of the East River Drive at 100th and 110th Streets between the hours of 10 this morning and 3 this afternoon. Clear skies in Midtown Manhattan right now. Our present Midtown temperature is 46 degrees. That's 8 on the Celsius scale. The humidity is 49%. Winds are light and variable, and the barometer now is beginning to rise from 30.44. Our forecast calls for clear skies near record cold temperatures.